It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient. And you will have your pool in no time.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. A lot of quarterback injury news on this Monday. Washington's Jaden Daniels has a sprained left knee, leaving his status against the Raiders on Sunday in doubt. This is a big deal, explains ESPN NFL analyst Dan Orlovsky.
This offense is uniquely built around Jaden Daniels. If you think about the way that they use no huddle, the way that they utilize him in their run game, the way that they can hold the backside of defense to help some people on that run game, his escapability in some of their RPO game and some of their break the pocket stuff in the fourth down. So this is a big loss for Washington, not only by the week, but also what long-term effect it could have on how he can operate their offense.
Marcus Mariota gets the call if Daniels is out. Minnesota's J.J. McCarthy likely out against the Bengals this week because of an ankle sprain. Vikings expected to turn to Carson Wentz. Jake Browning's expected to be under center for Cincinnati in that matchup. Starter Joe Burrow needs toe surgery. He's likely out 3 months at minimum. The Jets preparing to possibly start backup QB Tyrod Taylor this week if Justin Fields can't play due to a concussion.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy. Coming up Tuesday, the Packers and Bills look like the best teams in football, but did they do enough to take over the #1 spot in my power rankings? It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from downtown Baton Rouge.
Let's ride!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
Chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
And Mr. Toby Tom Blake. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Tigers win. Saints lose. Nuss is injured. LSU got a quarterback of the future. Ton to do. Let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
Well, if that wasn't a throwback Saturday night in Tiger Stadium to an era a lot of y'all might not want to remember. That felt, did it not, like watching a Les Miles football game. Maybe I'm more in tune to that because I covered all those teams and watched every game, and my goodness, ball control, defense, field position, punt it again. 7 punts, 4 inside the 24, 50 yards or more. Suffocating defense. It was an illustration, certainly, that there are many different ways that you can win a football game. And as we have seen through the up until now in the Brian Kelly era, by and large, LSU has won with offense, but they have not won at the highest level. They have won games. They have not been competing for championships. You had a 4,000-yard passer a season ago. You lost 4 games. They are trying to win now, clearly, in very, very, very different ways. And Brian Kelly was heated after the game. He had the interaction with Michael Cobble. On Monday, Brian Kelly apologized publicly and said he apologized privately to Cobble as well. I can certainly understand a coach defending his team. Coaches talk through the media all the time. The bottom line is the question that Cobble was asking was the question to ask. Listen, LSU's defense is objectively awesome. 5 interceptions. That hadn't happened since you did it to Matt Corral in the COVID year, in that game in the rain. Remember when Kayshawn went off for 300 yards? That game. Unbelievable defensively. Special teams were outstanding. Damian Ramos made both of his field goals. We just talked about Grant Chadwick. 7 punts, 4 inside the 20, 1 out at the 6, 1 out at the 2. He was awesome. Aaron Burrell's a touchback machine. Your coverage is really good. Returns with Thomas and Barry and Brown, fantastic. The offense is the question. And it's a matter of it's not can you win games. You can beat Florida with that strategy. Can you win a championship with that strategy? Ultimately, you're going to have to find some offense. And after the game, throughout his 13-minute post-game press conference, I think Brian Kelly finally started to simmer down a little bit and acknowledged all these things are true in the way they're going about winning right now.
You guys were here when we had a prolific offense. That doesn't work. You can't outscore people and be a championship team. You can build your offense around the defense if it's that good. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to get better on offense, be more efficient. But at the end of the day, we're not going to put our defense in a bad situation. And that's what we have to get better at. If there's some takeaways from here, it's really about ball control, flipping the field, doing a better job of being more efficient in third down situations when we can run it in third and short. And maybe we got to get in the eye like we did at the end there with a fullback back there and pound the football. If that's what we have to do, that's what we're going to do.
My goodness. I formation, flipping the field. Like, we have jumped to the DeLorean, cranked that thing up to 88, and we're smack dab in the middle of 2015, y'all. We just went back a decade. Listen, in all seriousness, I mean, I am serious about that stuff, but all last week, we talked about one thing primarily. Now, we had branches off of the tree, but we talked about one thing primarily. What was it? We talked about how a year ago, Florida's defensive front wrecked LSU. That was the jumping off point for basically every conversation we had about this game last week. You know the numbers because I said them 1,000 times. 7 sacks, 11 TFLs, 14 hurries, 20 pressures. It was awful. You dominated the stat sheet in Gainesville a year ago, and you lost the game for one reason. You couldn't control their defensive front. Their defensive front wrecked the game. They forced a turnover deep in LSU territory. They were able to rip off a 55-yarder late. LSU would get on the precipice of the red zone. Sack, TFL, negative play, pushes you back. Happened over and over again, kept that game close, and ultimately Florida made the play late to win it. This game was completely flipped from a year ago. Florida had 23 first downs to LSU's 10. Florida outgained LSU 366 to 322. By the way, 51 of that came on Caden Durham's busted run at the end of the game. They outpassed you 287 to 220. They held the ball for 38 minutes. You had it for 22. They dominated the yardstick. But they threw 5 picks because DJ Lagway is not a good quarterback. As I've said, much to the chagrin of many now for a while. For everybody who wanted to pump up this year's quarterbacks, said, oh, let me see it. DJ Lagway was playing his first real true road game. He came off the bench last year against Tennessee. He played at 2-10 Florida State, which was no big deal. This was his first real SEC road game. How do you think it was going to go? About like it did. 5 interceptions for the LSU defense. Hat tip to Deshaun Spears. Pick 6. How about A.J. Halsey's interception right before the end of the first half, which got you 3 points? Beautiful ball skills. You can see some of the reason why we've harped on some of these guys since fall camp. You're seeing it now, like with Halsey. We talked about Halsey all throughout fall camp. Nobody saw him. He wasn't here in spring. You go lay eyes on 13, and you're like, oh, I get it. Okay. DJ Pickett gets his first career interception. TaMarcus Cooley playing center field, picks one off in the end zone. DBU, yes, please. There is no objection to any of that. LSU's defense was awesome in this ball game, and you did what you had to do to win an SEC game and not let Florida do the one thing that could have gotten you beat. And LSU executed that to perfection. Now, here's the problem. And I think Brian Kelly knows it, whether he wants to acknowledge it, talk about it, whatever the case may be. Your offensive line, the line we've talked about since spring and into fall camp, clearly is a gigantic liability, such that it is altering the way you approach offensive football. On Saturday night, and I know Brian Kelly on Monday disclosed the torso injury with Nussmeier. He's practicing fully. He's not even listed on the injury report. I'll give you more opinion on that later, but my opinion is it's not a thing. In the same way that the knee tendonitis that everybody wanted to make a thing wasn't a thing, this isn't a thing. But I'll get to more of that later. The bottom line is teams are playing coverage against you because they know you got great receivers. So even when you have a favorable matchup to run the football, you can't run the football. You couldn't move bodies against Louisiana Tech. That's the problem. This offensive line is pass blocking fine. Garrett Nussmeier was not sacked. He was pressured one time in the football game. Pass blocking, they've been fine. They can't move bodies in the run game. And in particular, on Saturday, it was the right side of your line. It was Josh Thompson, and it was Weston Davis. Their Pro Football Focus grades were in the 40s. Just not good enough. So this is a team right now that has got to figure out its offensive line. And you can't go into free agency. I mean, you did that already. You added Braylon Moore and Josh Thompson. But Weston Davis has got to get better. Paul Mabenga, by the way, hat tip to Paul Mabenga, who was your highest graded offensive lineman in this game. After a year ago in this game, gave up 8 pressures in that game a year ago. He was awful a year. And in this game, answered the bell, was your highest rated offensive lineman. Credit where it's due. Hat tip to Paul Mabenga. Played well. Now, I know a lot of people want to flip out about the offense, about Joe Sloan, about Nuss's injured, whatever. Fine. This is my contention, and this might be proven wrong. So in the next 2 weeks, when we come back here on Mondays, we'll reevaluate this conversation. But here's my contention. Watching 3 games, listening to Brian Kelly talk about it, I think they had 2 very tough tests defensively with Clemson on the road and Florida at home. And they were not going to let that offensive line get them beat like they did last year in Gainesville. So they were going to lean on their defense, special teams, and just do enough offensively to win, and they've done that. They know they got to be better offensively. Now, the next 2 weeks, it lightens up significantly. You're at home against an FCS school, and then you're at Ole Miss, who stinks. Did you watch Ole Miss against Arkansas? Arkansas put up 500 yards, threw for 300, ran for 200. Arkansas went up and down the field on Ole Miss. Their defense stinks. If in the next 2 weeks, this offense doesn't show marked improvement, then you got a real problem. Because I can understand offensive struggles at Clemson and at home against Florida, because those defenses have pros at every level. Southeastern Louisiana and Ole Miss do not. So I'll give them 2 more weeks. I understand all y'all want to burn the whole thing down right now. I get it. I know what fans do. I'll give them 2 more weeks. I'll give them 2 more weeks to see how this looks against dramatically inferior competition. And you're going to say, what about Tech? I can chalk that up to a letdown spot. I'm okay chalking that up to a sandwich spot between Clemson and Florida. Weird look with the 3-3-5 stack. Anyway, next 2 weeks. If the offense isn't dramatically improved in the next 2 weeks, you got real problems. But I suspect LSU is going to go out there against a dramatically inferior Southeastern Louisiana team and get going offensively. I think they're going to do the same thing on the road against Ole Miss. See how it goes. But the Tigers are 3-0. They're ranked number 3 in the country, and they got a 2/3 of the game. Defense, special teams are playing like a national championship level. Offense needs to catch up. How much can they make up? The good news is they got time to do it before they should really be threatened again. All right, it's After Further Review. Our show open every day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR, the official beer of the Tiger. This is the official beer of the New Orleans Saints as well. Make sure if you're tailgating, if you're home gating, if you're at a game watch, if you're at a restaurant, drink the official beer of the LSU Tigers, the official beer of the New Orleans Saints. Make sure you look for those officially licensed cans. You got the black cans with the fleur-de-lis for the Saints and the white cans and aluminum bottles, the officially licensed cans for LSU Athletics. It's Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light. All right, it's After Further Review, y'all. We're not got a quick break. Come back. I'll get you some thoughts on Saints falling to 0-2 with their loss to the 49ers. And in about 15 minutes, I'm going to come back and give you my full analysis on what Brian Kelly said on Monday about Garrett Nussmeier's injury. That's all ahead on AFR.
After Further Review.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan, injury attorney. As a matter of fact, Gordon's going to be in our studio here in a couple hours. He'll be here in hour number 3. Looking forward to that conversation with Gordon about Garrett Nussmeier, other members of the G team, and, of course, all the work that Gordon's done in NIL. We'll get into that conversation, the Gordfather of NIL, as it were. Gordon McKernan, injury attorneys. If you've been injured in an accident, it's not your fault. Do what injured people in our state have done for 3 decades. Get Gordon and get it done. Of course, you can go to the website, getgordon.com, 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 or you can call him, 888-8888, 888-8888. Matter of fact, if you go to the website, there's a call now button there on the homepage of the website. You can just tap that. It'll call the office. And you'll talk to a living, breathing human being who will help get you started going through that process. It's Gordon McKernan, injury attorneys, great supporters of the community. The billboard design competition is still open. You can learn about that at the website as well. Whatever you do, go to getgordon.com, get Gordon, and get it done.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding, and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $22,500 off MSRP on the brand new 2025 Ram 1500 Laramie with $22,500 off MSRP with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
Mornings with Brian Haldane is the only live and local talk show in the capital city. Get the news from the newsmakers, along with traffic and weather updates throughout the morning. The conversation.
After Further Review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. And oh, we do shutters too.
Fourth down and a long one. Rattler's out of the shotgun, takes the snap, drops the throw, slips, ball comes out. Ball is loose, Saints on top of it, but that will be it.
You know, there's pain just with losing again, another short one, but it really comes down to we got to do more of what winning football teams do. We got to play better in situational football. We got to pounce on opportunities when they're presented, and we got to give ourselves a better chance. And so there's too much good in there to miss these opportunities. And so you know, we got to play better, faster, learn from these things, and go from there.
Saints lose 26-21 to the San Francisco 49ers. They fall to 0-2. I think everyone is starting to see the realization, the manifestation of what this team is. They're just not a good football team capable of winning games in the NFL. It's why we've said all offseason this is just going to be a very long year. And it's easy to say, well, they're close. Look how close they were with an opportunity late game. What if Juwan Johnson makes that catch against the Cardinals? He didn't. What if they put together a 2-minute drive or Blake Grupe makes a 40-yard field goal? Maybe you're in it and just need a field goal to win. They didn't. Because there is one absolutely undeniable truth in the National Football League. Good teams find a way to win, and bad teams find a way to lose. And the New Orleans Saints are a bad team. This is the hard thing, I think, for a lot of people to realize. I'm going to talk about the game in just a second, but I'm giving you a big picture philosophy here. We, you, me, collectively, Saints fans, people who have watched this team, cheered for this franchise for a long time, we got used to, for a decade and a half, waking up every Sunday thinking our team was going to win. Now, that wasn't realistic. They, of course, weren't going to win every game. But you never went into a game for 15 years thinking, no shot today. Taking that L, right? Always thought the Saints with Drew Brees and Sean Payton had a chance or were going to win. None of those guys are here. Nobody on this team has won anything. You had some guys that were young in their career when the Saints went to the NFC Championship game in 2018. Your Kamara was a second-year player. Cam Jordan was a young veteran at that point. DeMario was on that team. Like, that's it. I mean, look at the guys you're counting on now. They've never won anything. Spencer Rattler's never won anything. Carl Granderson's never won anything. Pete Werner, Kool-Aid McKinstry's a second-year player. Justin Reed's. I mean, well, Reed had been in Kansas City, but with New Orleans, they've missed the playoffs 4 straight years, and they're projected to be the worst team in the NFL. How much has your roster turned over in 5 years since the last time you made the playoffs? The point is, you and I see the Saints and think, oh, they should win. These guys have never won anything. You got a rookie head coach that hasn't won a game, didn't even win a game in the preseason. They tied one. I mean, the expectation of winning, the culture of winning doesn't exist within that locker room right now because they've never done it. And that's not to throw the baby out with the bathwater. I mean, there was some good. Like, Spencer Rattler didn't lose you the game. He's just not capable of winning you the game. And you can hem and haw and say, yeah, but he completed 70% of his passes, 3 touchdowns, no picks. That's true. And they had 2 possessions in the fourth quarter with the game on the line, and they went 3 and out, and then he fumbled. I'm not blaming him for the fumble. I mean, it was the 4th down play you had to go for it. But the point is, when the game was on the line and you had to go make a play, you didn't. You couldn't. Because this team, they're not winners. I did like a lot of what Spencer Rattler did. He protected the football, didn't turn it over. He made some really nice plays with his feet. You had unfortunately, an Eric McCoy penalty negated a Spencer Rattler run in the first quarter. But Rattler had a 3rd and 6 conversion in the second quarter right before Juwan Johnson's touchdown. Beautiful play where he kind of made a guy miss, got upfield. He converted on a 4th and 1 in the second half. Like, Rattler did some really nice things in this game. I like that, a week ago, we talked about this team needing to help out their quarterback and make some contested catches. Juwan Johnson at the end of the game, Olave on the left sideline at the end of the game. I mean, there were some plays that you would have loved to have seen Devon Vele a week ago on the play where he drew a PI. Now he drew a PI, but make the catch. On Sunday, you saw contested catches. Juwan Johnson made a beautiful touchdown catch. Rashid Shaheed, the one-handed catch on the PI. When the Saints went down, ultimately, they missed a field goal on that drive. Way to go, Blake Grupe. We'll talk about him in a second. Devon Vele's touchdown catch was a beautiful contested catch. Olave had a contested catch. It was nice to see. Elevate your young quarterback. But the bottom line is, you're not very good, and defensively, you're not nearly what I think some thought they could be with their first unit out there. You let Mac Jones dice you up. Let me remind you. Now, Mac Jones has started 50 career games, 5-0. He's played a lot of football in the NFL. But Mac Jones threw for 279, 3 touchdowns, no picks. He hasn't done that since his rookie year. I mean, it's Mac Jones. And by the way, that's Mac Jones without George Kittle, without Brandon Ayuk, without Deebo Samuel. That's Mac Jones throwing to Juwan Jennings and Ricky Pearsall. Pearsall's first-round pick. Jennings had a 42-yard catch and run, really good player. Jake Tungus, however you pronounce it, in there for Kittle. They lost Kyle Juszczyk in the game as well. I mean, that wasn't like peak San Francisco. But the illustrative difference is you have a team that expects to win and a great offensive coach, maybe the best offensive/quarterback coach in the NFL, a guy that took a team to a Super Bowl with Brock Purdy and Jimmy G. He turned Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, into a $50 million a year quarterback. Like, that's the difference. You just saw on display, you know what the 49ers were on Sunday? They were New Orleans with Teddy Bridgewater when Drew Brees got hurt. That's what San Francisco was. A team that had a good enough nucleus, great coaching, belief in itself and their plan, a quarterback that played within themselves in the scheme, went on the road and won a game. Because they're better. And you're not good. You were flagged 16 times for penalties a week ago with 13 accepted. You cleaned that up a little bit. You had 4 in the first quarter, which was an absolute embarrassment. Isaac Adam had a PI. They converted a 3rd and 14. Diggs had a hands to the face. McCoy had a holding penalty that negated a Spencer Rattler run. Yadam had another penalty, a block in the back on a punt return. That was all in the first quarter. Now, you cleaned it up. You ended up with 7 penalties for the game. So 4 in the first quarter, 3 the rest of the way. The Juwan Johnson touchdown was great, brought you within 9-7, but then you let them go on a 2-minute drive and score a touchdown with 7 seconds to play in the half. They had an opportunity to go back-to-back. Rumph forced the fumble at the start of the second half. Really nice play by Chris Rumph right there. And then you scored. You scored on Rashid Shaheed's touchdown to make it 16-14. They answered with a field goal to make it 19-14. They just kept extending. And you got the ball back, and you think you're going to go make a play and have a chance to take the lead, and then Kamara fumbles. Now, I have a problem with the call on Kamara's fumble, and I'm not saying it was the wrong call. I just don't know what's a fumble, what's a catch. I know we do that whole thing, like who knows what a catch is anymore. I don't. You can slow that thing down, frame by frame and determine whether or not he had possession on his helmet, and then did he take a step. Like, real time, he's bobbling the ball, he pins it against his helmet, then he gets crushed, and the ball pops out. Like, I don't think that was a fumble. I don't think that was a catch. But what do I know? Changed the game. After the fumble, when Jennings had his 42-yard touchdown, they were up 12. You could have folded. You put together your best drive of the day. 13 plays, 71 yards. You did convert twice on penalties, but Olave had a contested catch. You had the contested touchdown by Vele to bring within 26-21. And I'll be damned, you got to stop. Got the ball at 4:35 and a chance to go put together a 4-minute offense and win the game. Instead, you go 3 and out. And then your defense gets you another stop. And the offense gets the ball back and did whatever that was that they did. So, look, there was some good. There's just not enough good to win in the NFL. and it's not going to happen the next 2 weeks. You got to go to Seattle, where you're an 8.5-point favorite here on the opening line. Then you got to go to Buffalo, where you're going to get smoked. You'll have a chance to win home games against New England and the Giants. I do think that. And there's some wins. Like, you always play well against your division because you know them so well. There's a win or two out there in division games. You do get the Jets in New Orleans as well. So I'm not sitting here telling you this is going to be a winless team. It's just, if you're expecting anything more than 4 or 5 wins scattered throughout the course of this schedule, you're fooling yourself. Get used to seeing more of this. I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer. I'm just a realist. And I've told you, I'm not going to sit here on Mondays and bemoan wins and losses because I'm not expecting anything from this team. What I want to see is growth. I want to see young players play well to prove whether or not they can actually be cornerstone pieces that can be starters in the NFL, upon which you can build that foundation, upon which you can build an organization and a contender. And to be very honest, I'm not seeing a lot of that so far through 2 weeks. But it's a long season. A lot of growth will happen. We'll continue to watch it, although the results on Sunday aren't going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of Mondays here where we're talking about the Saints losing, which is different for this organization, different for the fans over the last decade and a half, but it's the reality they face right now. All right, we're brought to you by Supper Club. SupperClubBTR.com for your reservation. SupperClubBTR.com. Oh, the SEC Nation crew went to Supper Club. I saw Laura Rutledge on her Instagram story, was thanking Supper Club and Chef Layton. She's like, this is the best meal they've ever had, ever, on all of their campus tours with SEC Nation. How about that for validation? Listen, I tell you about it all the time, but you got to go experience Supper Club. They're closed today. Remember, they're closed Sunday, Monday, so they're open Tuesday to Saturday. Get your reservation. Tigers play this weekend. If you're not going to be at the game, remember, you can watch the game at Supper Club. Now, that ain't a sports bar, but they have a big projection TV in the lounge to the right of the bar, so you can sit at one of the bar tables or one of the bar stools and watch the game. And instead of, eating bar food, if you want to go have an amazing steak, a piece of fish, a glass of wine at Supper Club and watch the game, you could do it this or any Saturday. SupperClubBTR.com, SupperClubBTR.com for your reservations. That's Supper Club. All right, y'all, it's After Further Review. Monday show is brought to you by Relief Windows. We'll knock out a quick break. Normally, we go around the SEC. I'm not going to do that today because I want to give myself enough time to talk about the Garrett Nussmeier injury, which Brian Kelly finally disclosed today. We'll dive into that next here on AFR.
AFR.
Fall is here, and a great telltale that fall is here is when you look at Clegg's Nursery, and they've got all of the fall decor set up. Miss Teresa emailed me earlier today with a few updates after last week. They got everything set up, all the pumpkins and the hay bales and the squash and the gourds and the scarecrows and the wheat stalks. They've got it all, and it is time to plant your fall garden and those fruit trees. Probably early to plant trees and shrubs, but the fruit trees, this is the time to get them in the ground. So they're stocked up on Buckbusters, Mobucks, deer feed, deer corn, rice bran. If you're getting your plots ready for deer season, they got you. They got fall flowers that are still a few weeks out, but they got mums and petunias and a lot of ornamental peppers that are perfect for fall decorating. Y'all, it is time to get by Clegg's Nursery. Any of the 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area, serving Baton Rouge for 60 years. Buy local, shop local. Tell them Matt sent you in to Clegg's Nursery.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
On 2nd and 13, Nussmeier stacks two receivers left, two to the right. Plenty of time in the pocket. It holds. The throw to the end zone. Caught at the goal line, falling in backwards. Xavier Thomas, touchdown, Fighting Tigers.
That would be the only offensive touchdown Saturday for LSU against the Florida Gators. Nonetheless, Tigers win 20-10 over Florida. Moved to 1-0 in the league, 3-0 overall, and a breather this week with Southeastern Louisiana coming in. There have been, naturally, a lot of questions as to why this LSU offense, which features so much talent, has been slowed. And that is not actually debatable, either part of that. Garrett Nussmeier is a 4,000-yard passer. We know he's really good. We know Chris Hilton and Aaron Anderson and Xavier Thomas and Barian Brown and Nick Anderson, are Caden Durham, Bauer Sharp, that they are all really good football players. That is an undeniable, inarguable fact because we have seen them all do it at the major college SEC level. So you've got all this talent on an offense that right now is not very good. And I know Brian Kelly wasn't super pumped to answer questions about that after the game. And to his credit, he was much more measured on Monday. But these are the things that are inarguable right now. LSU is 117th in America in rushing offense. LSU is 111th in the country in scoring offense. They are 62nd nationally in passing offense. This has not been, they have been effective at executing their plan, but they have not been efficient or explosive. That is objectively true. Brian Kelly on Monday might have shed a little light as to one thing anyway that is slowing the offense, and that's an injury to Garrett Nussmeier.
I'll be honest, and I wasn't going to get into this, but with you guys I will. You know, he's been slowed a little bit with a torso injury, and he's fighting through it, and he's getting better, and he's not going to be able to really shut it down until we get to the bye week. And I'm not saying that has had any of his troubles. I think he is a symptom of what I just answered from Wilson in that, you know, we're not ripping it, you know, on fourth down. You know, we're taking some plays away from him as well. And he's done a really good job. I think he managed the run game as well as he has all year. We got to let him get the ball out to the playmakers. That would be more of what has to happen. And then we've got to keep him healthy.
Now, I know how this is going to go. All right, I know how this is going to go because I know you. I love you and I appreciate you, sincerely. If you're listening, watching, despite whatever arguments, disagreements we may have, I love you and I appreciate you. Please know that. But I know how you're going to react to this. You're going to say, Eureka, smoking gun. That's why the offense stinks. Nuss is hurt, and they've been covering it up. I don't think that's the case. In the most honest, sincere way I could tell you that I am not lying. I genuinely believe this thing with Nussmeier is a nothing. In the same way that the knee tendonitis was a nothing. Everyone tried to make that into a big thing. Clearly, you're watching it. He in no way looks limited by that at all, does he? You've watched 3 games. Has anybody in 3 weeks said a damn thing about Garrett Nussmeier's knee? No, because it's a nothing. I think similar, this is a nothing. Now, I want to give you some context here, so go back with me. Because I first heard about Nuss with the oblique the Saturday before Clemson, when they had the scrimmage walkthrough in Tiger Stadium, and Nuss didn't throw the football. That's when I first heard, hey, he's got an oblique thing. So I did what you naturally do. I started calling around. And everyone I asked within the program all hand-waved it and assured it was nothing. Now go back further. The first time that there was any signal of this was in camp. It was Friday, August the 15th. I went back and looked at my camp notes today. Friday, August the 15th, they're at the indoor, helmet, shoulder pads, and Nuss does not throw while the media is watching. He does not throw a pass. Brian Kelly meets with reporters after that practice and is asked, why didn't Garrett Nussmeier throw today? Here's what he said.
Nuss is much more about managing his throws. He hit a number of throws where we give him some time to back off a little bit. He'll be back out tomorrow, full go, scrimmaging tomorrow. Again, it's just maintenance on some of these guys with workload.
Okay, so Nuss doesn't throw on that Friday. He goes and scrimmages fully on Saturday. If you're me or you or anyone asking about Nuss being injured, and then you hear that he practices and scrimmages fully in Tiger Stadium the next day, you're going, okay, well, there's nothing to it. Because if he was really hurt, they wouldn't have let him go be a full go in scrimmage on Saturday. Well, then the next Saturday, the 25th, was the 23rd. It was the 23rd. The 23rd was the Saturday before Clemson. Nuss, again, doesn't throw. We didn't have access to Kelly on the 23rd, but that Monday before Clemson, he spoke to reporters. I asked him, again, why wasn't Nussmeier throwing?
When you get into the camp situation, we have I know it's not a great analogy, but we have a pitch count where we want to take our quarterback's load off, and all the installation was in, Matt. We were done with installation. So this was just more throwing. We wanted to wait and get into Clemson in game week. And so he'll be out there on Tuesday, practicing full.
Okay. So now Garrett Nussmeier's played 3 games. The offense has not looked good. It certainly hasn't been explosive like we thought they would. And sometimes correlation does not equal causation. Because the offense is struggling and Nuss has this torso thing, does not mean the offense is struggling because Nuss has a torso thing. Brian Kelly on Monday was asked if the torso injury is limiting their play call, meaning are they not stretching the field because of Nuss's injury?
No, come Saturday, he's good to go. We've limited him a little bit during the week because of some tightness that he's had in his torso. It's an upper body injury that you want to be careful with how many reps he's getting throwing the football. So he's overcoming that. But we cut him down substantially. I think he's on the other side of that, but we had to be really careful with him the first few weeks.
Okay, so Brian Kelly's saying it's not limiting us. By the way, if you're scoring at home, through 3 games, 20-yard passes that have traveled 20 yards in the air. 3 against Clemson, 3 against Florida, 7 against Louisiana Tech. For context, he threw 86 last year. The Ole Miss game last year, he had 16 in one game. But 3, 7, and then 3. if you were trying to hide an injury, why would you let him stretch the field against Louisiana Tech? Why wouldn't you do it against Clemson or Florida when maybe you needed a little more injection of offense? Clearly, if they were hiding it, he wouldn't be stretching the field against Tech double the amount that he would against the other two. And there was a follow-up asked about the downfield passing game in this injury.
Is that something that has affected the downfield passing game in any way in game?
No, but we don't, you're not working on it as much in practice. So, when you get your shots, you want to be able to take them, but we're not doing it a lot in practice. We're starting to pick up that pace. We started a little bit last week. We'll continue to pick it up more this week.
My opinion, and again, I understand a lot of you are going to disagree. I know a lot of you are going to disagree because you tweet at me and text me all the time, and I know where you're going to stand on this. What I'm saying to you is not going to register at all for 96% of you. But for the 4% that will, that's why I'm going to do this. And just so I can be on the record. My opinion sitting here today is the same as it was before the Florida game and before the Clemson game and after each. Your problem, what you are limiting in the play calling, Brian Kelly acknowledged this today. For everyone who's crapping on Joe Sloan, you can do that. Nothing I say is going to change your mind about Joe Sloan if you hate Joe Sloan. But Brian Kelly even said, Joe Sloan is doing what we are telling him to do. We are winning the game. We're winning games by playing defense and running the football and not committing mistakes on offense. He's basically handcuffing Joe Sloan. Believe it if you want. I don't care. It's what Brian Kelly said. It's on the record. You believe what you want. I don't care. Look at the run blocking grades from Saturday. Braylon Moore was a 67. Paul Mabenga was a 61. Weston Davis was a 50. Josh Thompson was a 50. Tyree Adams was a 50. I mean, you right now are not good run block. That's an objective truth. And so teams, forgive me, I gave you the wrong number. Tyree Adams was a 45. Weston Davis was a 49. Cohen Eccles was a 50. Josh Thompson was a 51. It's not good enough. That's on Pro Football Focus, by the way. Teams are playing coverage against LSU because you can't run the ball. So if they're going to drop 6 and 7 in coverage, there's nowhere to go with the football. So you've got to be able to run, but you're not able to run. Until they're able to move bodies and run the football, they're not going to open up the passing game. That's just math. There's way smarter people than me that are going to look at film and tell you that, but it ain't like I came to that conclusion on my own. Way smarter people than me that look at film have said, watching LSU's film, that's what's happening. So until this offensive line improves to where LSU is able to be a competent rushing football team, to bring numbers into the box, to open up the passing game, I think it's going to keep looking like this. So the hope is that offensive line keeps improving and they're able to open up the passing game. I do not think in any way that this LSU's offensive struggle so far has anything whatsoever to do with Garrett Nussmeier's torso. By the way, I asked Brian Kelly after the press conference today, if Garrett Nussmeier has this injury, why hasn't he been listed on the injury report? And Kelly told me you only have to put someone on the injury report if they miss or are limited in practice. And he has not missed or been limited in practice. So if he's not missing practice, he's not limited in practice, he's doing everything in games, I'm not going to make a bigger deal of this than what it is. The real issue is your offensive line's got to be better. The same issue we spent all camp talking about. All right, it's AFR. Wrap up hour number 1 next.
AFR.
We're brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com. Spell it out, O-N-E, 1hourbr.com for River City's 1 Hour Air. They're the best. Remember, nights and weekends, got an issue with your AC, they'll always come out. We're getting close to the time when we'll start telling you about the preseason heater safety check, but we're not quite there yet because right now in Baton Rouge, it's 90 degrees at 3:50 in the afternoon on September the 15th. So, yeah, You still need that AC pumping cool air, and if yours isn't for whatever reason, our friends at River City's 1 Hour Air can help. Look for the big yellow vans and trucks with the giant clock on the side. Go read their Google reviews. They've got more than double the amount of 5-star Google reviews than the next closest competitor because for 40 years they've been thrilling their customers. It's River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001, 752-0001, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. It's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgu.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
Baton Rouge's home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin. AC/DC. Pearl Jam. And the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our...
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
All right, wrapping up hour number 1, presented by Relief Windows. Every Thursday, we tell you what to watch. We come back and tell you what we learned on Monday. Hit it, Muse.
We watched. Now, let's review.
All right, gotta go.
Yeah, I was watching Bengals and Jaguars. It was the rematch of the college football playoff. Then Joe Burrow got hurt, and no one really cared anymore. So he's going to be out for 3 months, and that sucks.
Yeah, it sucks.
Arkansas, Ole Miss. Ole Miss started backup quarterback Trinidad Chambliss. Chambliss threw for 353. He plays Austin Simmons. Ole Miss sealed the game in under 2 minutes when the Rebs stripped the ball from Arkansas. Fumble recovery.
Which Clemson was real? The one that lost 3 games a year ago, or were they the playoff team? They blew it against Georgia Tech. Credit Georgia Tech. I've waffled a lot on that game, but Clemson, Klubnik had a fumble. They missed a field goal, had an interception at the goal line. Clemson probably should have won that game by double digits. They choked it away, and credit Georgia Tech. They made the plays to win it. Clemson, one tough game remaining against Florida State. Other than that, they could run the table and be in the college football playoff mix, but they're up against it now.
Darian Mintz's return to Tulane, he was fine, 313, but credit the Green Wave. They built a big lead in the first half, withstood the rally from Duke. Jake Retzlaff, over 300 yards from him as well for Tulane. They got the win in the last laugh.
How about the Colts with another surprise win? They lined up for a 60-yard field goal that was no good, but penalty gave them another kick. They kicked the game winner. They're now 2-0 and lead the AFC South.
I was fascinated by Vandy, South Carolina. And lo and behold, Rex Bex is a fraud. Told you Carolina was going 7-5. That might have been generous. Vandy might be the toughest game remaining on LSU's schedule.
At least we know one team in Florida can take care of the South Florida Bulls. Miami rolled them like you should, as we also predicted here.
Eagles get the win in the Super Bowl rematch with the Chiefs. Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley each had touchdown runs. Eagles defense came up with a fourth quarter interception of Mahomes. Chiefs 0-2 for the first time since 2014.
And I was looking at contenders looking to avoid going 0-2. Chiefs, Ravens, and Lions. Detroit scored 52 on their former coach. Baltimore with a no-problem win over Cleveland, 41-17. But as Paulie mentioned, the Chefs fall to 0-2. There you have it. That's what we learned. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. Monday shows are presented by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Peter Burns spent his weekend in Baton Rouge, and he spent his morning next to a guy dressed like a pumpkin. We'll talk to him next. It's AFR.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Parish Restoration, parishrestoration.com, parishrestoration.com. Kill mold, remove odor. Remember, it's that patented non-toxic dry fog treatment. They'll come in your home, your office, church, school, workout facility, government building, hospital, anything. Have mold, think you might? Other harmful pathogens? Maybe there's sickness running rampant through the office, through the building, whatever it is. You need to spray to sanitize. You want Parish Restoration. It is mold remediation. It's sanitization. It's odor removal. Maybe you bought a house from someone who was a cigarette smoker or had pets or sweat odor. You want to knock all that out? Parish Restoration can help. It's easy. Go to parishrestoration.com, parishrestoration.com, parishrestoration.com. Fill out the form on the homepage at parishrestoration.com. They'll come give you that free quote and estimate. It's parishrestoration.com.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
When you can't rely on technology, you can rely on Mountain Cold Refreshment. Dave's back on. Coors Light. Choose chill.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $22,500 off MSRP on the brand new 2025 Ram 1500 Laramie with $22,500 off MSRP with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
River Parish Contractors has immediate openings for structural steel shop fabricators. Call or text Big Jake today at 318-547-1000 or go to rpcontractors.com and click on employment. River Parish Contractors. Let's get building.
It's not just a game, it's a religion. You've got your team colors, team swag, and now your very own website. LouisianaSports.net. Everything LSU, Saints, and Pelicans. Sports on demand. In-depth coverage by sports writing pros with continuously updated news. And with the LouisianaSports.net newsletter, you get pinged directly with top trending stories. Best of all, now and always. No paywall. It's free. LouisianaSports.net. Powered by 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Your home for Louisiana sports.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. This, it's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The Commanders may be without quarterback Jaden Daniels Sunday against the Raiders. He has a knee injury and his status in doubt, reports ESPN's Adam Schefter. Marcus Mariota starts if Daniels can't play. ESPN NFL analyst Jason McCourty.
Marcus Mariota comes in at the quarterback position. Can he hold down the helm and figure out a way to win some games in the absence of Jaden Daniels, depending upon the extent of that injury? A 31-year-old quarterback, he could run in his day. Can he still execute this offense the same way, the way Cliff Kingsbury has designed it, where Jaden is so dangerous within it?
Vikings QB J.J. McCarthy expected to be sidelined 2 to 4 weeks with an ankle injury. Carson Wentz, the likely starter Sunday versus the Bengals. The other QB for that matchup expected to be Jake Browning, set to take over in Cincinnati with Joe Burrow needing toe surgery, which sources told Schefter will sideline him at least 3 months. Bears quarterback Jalen Johnson out indefinitely with a groin injury. The Jets are preparing for the possibility of starting backup QB Tyrod Taylor Sunday against the Buccaneers. Starter Justin Fields is in NFL concussion protocol.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy. Coming up Tuesday, the Packers and Bills look like the best teams in football, but did they do enough to take over the #1 spot in my power rankings? It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from downtown Baton Rouge.
Let's ride!
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
So. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Gordon McKernan in studio next hour. We're talking about NIL with G when he's in studio with us. We've got a ton to do. Let's bring on a guy who was on national television this morning wearing a Fred's hoodie. Hit it.
This week in the SEC with Peter Burns.
Unsportsmanlike conduct.
Let's separate the contenders from the pretenders.
Number 11 of the defense, throwing the LSU player's shoe 20 yards down the field.
With Peter Burns of the SEC Network, presented by Blue Delta Jeans.
Fred's loves ya. How are you, dude?
I am, I tell you what, my voice has been better. My liver's been better. I have half a kidney left, and I wouldn't have changed a damn thing.
Welcome
it's
home.
Like a normal trip to Baton Rouge.
Welcome home. Welcome home, brother. Yeah, pull it up, Paulie. There's PB this morning on SEC this morning wearing his Fred's hoodie with Brian Kelly on the opposite shot. But what we need to talk about is the yokel dressed like a pumpkin on the bottom half there of that shot. All right, there's Chris Doering dressed like a giant pumpkin, face paint and all. How'd it go?
It was as perfect as I thought it was going to be. I mean, the only problem was normally he's already in costume by the time BK gets there, but like it took him forever because we bought him tights, and the tights evidently we bought a medium. We bought a large, but it was a women's large and not a men's large, so it took him forever to get his on.
Oh, no.
And then it was an inflatable pumpkin, and then that took a while because the thing kept deflating, and then we got to get the makeup just right because I couldn't let him just raw dog it with no makeup, but we had to go full orange with a little black jack-o'-lantern stuff, and I mean just the pure like joy on BK's face when he saw Doring, it just brought a damn tear to my eye.
The Hello Kitty was a nice touch as well for CD. Holding a Hello Kitty doll. Where did you get the Hello Kitty?
I mean, listen, our makeup artist in the morning, she was like, I mean, if you're in for a penny, you're in for a pound. So she had to go get some. She had to go get some batteries in the morning for the whole little blow up thing, and she was like, I mean, I saw this. They're starting to do Halloween stuff, and I was like, yes. I go, there is no budget for this project, and it lived up to the hype.
Was there ever a point Saturday night while you're sitting in Tiger Stadium that you are in any way fearful of that the result may not go for the good guys?
For about 3 seconds, when I saw an 80-some-odd yard pass go, and I'm like, it's going to be 10-0, and then I go back and look at Guillory, like they're just so happy that the hold got called on him, and I go, oh, we're good. And it really, there's certain games like there where you feel like, the score is not indicative of what happened. Like after it got to 10-10, and especially after the second pick, and they kicked the field goal right before half, there was never really a time that I kind of worried because I'm thinking, all right, this offense sooner or later is going to get going. And then I didn't know that it was just going to be yet again the defense just absolutely wrecking shop.
So, look, the defense is exceptional. It's so fun to watch. The offensive questions, though, are legitimate, Pete. I know Kelly he apologized today publicly and privately to Michael Cobble, and so we can move on from that. But the reality is those are questions that need to be asked. So give me your concern level on the offense at this point through 3 weeks.
Well, I mean, I think the concern level is kind of not unlike the concern level that I had with LSU's defense in 2019, right? And I'm not saying this defense is as generational as LSU's offense was generational in 2019, but I remember 2019 they would score, but you're like, well, you got to because you're going to give up 35 damn points a game, and so I'm trying to look at it through the prism of okay. In 2019, that defense got a little healthier towards the middle part of the season. Then it started gelling, and by the end of the time, they had, they could get you 3 or 4 solid stops. And I look at this and I go, is this unlike what that is, but flipped? That this defense is dominant. That there's not a weakness as of we see right now. There's playmakers that we didn't even know, Matt, were going to be playmakers. Especially when both of the Weeks brothers go out, you're like, all right, who's going to step up? Well, no problem. Somebody else did. And so for me, I look at this and I go, is there talent? Well, there's talent. Is there experience? Hell yeah, there's experience. And I think BK said it. I mean, the injury part, saying he's not 100%, that's part of it. But also it's complementary football. Like, you don't need to turn Garrett Nussmeier into a damn gunslinger when you got bullets on the other side when it comes to playing great defense.
Yeah. The 2019 comp is a good one, man. They gave up 38 to Texas, and they gave up 38 to Vandy, and that's when everyone's like, "What's going on?" Like Dave Aranda defense, right. But you're right. They from that point on, they were good enough to get stops when they needed stops. Interesting comp. I'm curious if that's how this ends up playing out with this offense. Can they be good enough when they need to be good enough? Hey, so I know you spent Saturday at Tiger Stadium as a fan watching the game. Were you able to kind of lock into the rest of the league on Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, we were locked in, obviously, for Georgia, Tennessee, and I'm telling you, that's as enjoyable of a game as if you're just watching from a fan's perspective. You don't really necessarily have a dog in that fight of what the hell's going to happen. But then once again, it was Heupel and the Vols. I mean, that's 5 years in a row they've lost, Matt, and that's 5 years in a row that they struck first. And this time, it was 21-7. And this time they had Joey Aguilar. It wasn't just the opening script play and then everything fell apart. I mean, they are legit. And it took a Herculean effort from Gunnar Stockton. I mean, that pass by Gunnar Stockton was as good of a throw and catch to London Humphreys late into that game on 4th and 6 as I've seen in a long, long time. I mean, it reminded me a little bit of, what was it? It was last year, Nussmeier to Aaron Anderson against Ole Miss.
Absolutely.
Where it had to be at just the right spot or the game's over, and sure enough, that happened. And then, so they showed me a little bit. And you got to realize this Tennessee team is beat up to hell. Like, down their top 2 starting cornerbacks who haven't played. They were down 2 defensive linemen and an offensive lineman, and they still went toe-to-toe.
And the other thing, PB, this 4th down, man. That play was,
game over.
Game over.
Yeah.
And you need 6 yards. And you're throwing a fade.
They would have ripped Mike Bobo to shreds if that doesn't work, right?
Yes.
Why are you trying to get that? Well, guess what? It was the right call because it worked.
Yeah.
And again, that I don't even know what the percentage of that play, but I guarantee you it was less than 2% on the road in front of 115,000 people raising hell, and he dropped it in the damn bucket.
Yeah.
It was unreal.
Hey, what was Peter Burns with us, SEC Network, at Peter Burns ESPN, of course, courtesy of Blue Delta Jeans. Go to BlueDeltaJeans.com, BlueDeltaJeans.com. Which result of A&M Notre Dame, Vandy South Carolina, Arkansas Ole Miss, which of those results was most surprising and why?
The Vanderbilt part, because, again, you take the brands out of it, and you're just saying who's played the most complete. And Vanderbilt was good. And this wasn't like, Pavia threw for 3 touchdowns and ran for another 2. Pavia just kind of ran the offense. And they had 11 different guys carry the ball, kept everybody fresh. And that's the scary part about this defense right now, Matt, and I'm saying scary for Vanderbilt's defense. They've got 3 points in the second half all year long. It's one thing to be deep enough to where you're really good in the first half, but then, as the game wears on, you just don't have guys in a rotation. They get better as it goes on. So I think that was probably the biggest surprise. And I wasn't surprised with A&M. I was surprised it was a high-scoring game.
Yeah.
But I wasn't surprised because I didn't think that Notre Dame was that good. I had Mike Elko on my show this morning, and right before we come on air, I told him, I was like, I got to be honest with you, I was pulling for A&M. And I said, and I was with a bunch of LSU fans. They're like, you can't pull for A&M. And I told Elko this before we go on air. I go, hell yeah, I was pulling for you guys. Because I'm like, it's only better for you guys to be in the driver's seat and playing well, and for LSU to be playing well. So when you do have that matchup later in Tiger Stadium, that there's a whole hell of a lot on the line.
It's going to be a lot of fun, man.
And Notre Dame at 0-2 with no other ranked opponents other than Southern Cal, that could be one of those spots that it's like, well, do we take Notre Dame? It looks good because they beat up on other bad teams.
Yeah.
Or do we take a 9-3 or another 10-2 SEC squad, which LSU could potentially be in? It was a good result for the SEC and LSU.
Peter Burns, SEC Network. What are you most looking forward to this week?
I got to see if John Mateer is the real deal. And again, I give credit to Chris Doering on very few things. One, he's a hell of a sport when it comes to our bet, and he locked all the way into it. But again, another credit to that, he has been on this John Mateer Oklahoma bandwagon from the jump. And I didn't believe it. I'm like, all right, this is kind of one of those, I'm going to have a take at media days and stand out. But he brought receipts. He told me why he thought that was going to be the case. And, man, there's a certain swagger between him and, Jackson Arnold going back to Oklahoma. The storylines galore are going to be amazing.
Speaking of receipts, you did call on Friday that the game was going to end with DJ Pickett intercepting DJ Lagway.
But literally, we do the future headlines, and they're like, all right, what's going to be the future headline? And I said, DJ silences DJ. Pickett seals the win. And then that's the only thing that got me pissed off. I have never nailed one, ever, before. I do zero analysis, zero film study. I talk out of my ass like a fan, and I nail it. And I look at Doring over there in his pumpkin suit, and he goes, it was a good call. Whatever. I was like, you bitter SOB. I was so upset.
Receipts, man. We got it up on the screen right there. You can check all of Peter's social. It's there.
I did that on Friday.
That's amazing.
I did that on Friday.
Friday. You nailed it. Credit. Credit where it's due. That's awesome. Peter Burns, SEC Network, Blue Delta Jeans, and does a show every morning with a pumpkin. That's so good. So good. Chef's kiss.
It's incredible, really. And I got to go to field hockey practice. I don't know anything about field hockey, so wish me luck.
Enjoy. Thank you.
Hey, buddy.
That's Peter Burns. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Duplessis Builders. DuplessisBuilders.net. DuplessisBuilders.net. Thinking about building a pool? Great idea. Love our pool. It's awesome. I mean, we were swimming this weekend. It's the middle of September. We're still swimming because it's 90 degrees outside. I mean, you get such length, seasonal length out of your pool when you live in Louisiana because you could swim basically from like March to October. Anyway, call our friends over at Duplessis if you're thinking about building a pool, or maybe you bought a house that has a pool, but it's dated. Maybe it needs to be remodeled or updated or renovated. They can help you with that as well. Honestly, that's what happened with me and Erica. The house we bought had a pool, and it just had to be completely redone and remodeled. And Duplessis can do that for you with the same great integrity, the same great warranties that they offer. It's DuplessisBuilders.net, and they're great supporters of the Tigers. DuplessisBuilders.net.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
I'm Gabrielle McLeod on behalf of the Louisiana Propane Dealers. I have spent hundreds of hours preparing for scholarship competitions. That preparation paid off when I won the Fitness and Talent Awards along with the title of Miss Louisiana. The Louisiana Propane Dealers are also pretty talented and want you to be prepared for when the power goes out. Visit LouisianaPropane.com to find out about propane generators and other safety tips. Louisiana Propane, it truly is the fuel for our future.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
Flight by Yingling is raising the bar by crafting the next generation of light beer. With only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
You go on IR this week?
Most likely, yeah. We'll clarify that soon.
Saints lose to the 49ers on Sunday 26-21, and for the second consecutive week, it would appear as though the Saints are losing a defender for the rest of the season. Of course, Julian Blackmon, after the Week 1 loss to Arizona, we learned torn labrum, and he is done for the season as he's gone to IR. And then Mike Garafolo here on Monday tweeted earlier that Saints rookie defensive tackle Vernon Broughton is expected to miss the rest of the season with a hip injury. The third-round pick is getting multiple opinions to see if surgery is required. Broughton flashed potential in 24 snaps Sunday in his season debut. That's, again, from Mike Garafolo. He's not wrong. So remember, Broughton was a healthy scratch against Arizona. He made his Saints debut against the 49ers. He played 24 snaps, 10 against the run, 13 against the pass rush, and then he was in coverage on one play, which is just weird, but happens. His overall defensive grade was a 60, according to Pro Football Focus. Really good tackling grade with a 70.1. He had 3 tackles on the day. So, big dude at 6'4", 305, guy that coming out of Texas who played collegiately for Bo Davis at Texas. The Saints drafted him. Clearly someone that Bo Davis believed in college, and enough to draft him here into the NFL. But unfortunately for the New Orleans Saints, Vernon Broughton's rookie season is apparently done after just one game that he played in. For what it's worth, Kellen Moore, when he met with reporters on Monday, did kind of give an update on the injury.
Don't know the exact answer to that yet. So I know they're finalized. They did all the MRIs and everything, all the tests today. And so they'll figure out an action plan moving forward. Certainly tomorrow we'll have a really clear picture.
So he actually didn't give an update on the injury, but he was asked, when they learned about the injury, because it didn't appear as though anybody knew anything during the game.
I think a little bit, yeah. He was not on the initial medical report coming out of the game, right after the game for myself. And so I think it's something that kind of, once the adrenaline wears off, you start identifying something's not right.
That's a bummer. It's exactly what happened a week ago with Julian Blackmon, who was the highest graded Saints player defensively after Demario Davis. And we learned only after the game that he tore his labrum during the game, that he's shut down for the year. Now it's happening with Broughton as well. The Saints in that game against San Francisco, it was an interesting game because of the way it played out with Mac Jones throwing for 279 and 3 scores. But by and large, they kind of held Christian McCaffrey in check, 13 carries for 55 yards. On the day, San Francisco ran 26 times for 77 yards. So that's an average of 3 yards per carry. They only gave up a long of 13. And remember, this was a Saints defense that was second to last in the NFL a season ago in rush defense. So it's an area where they had to improve. They brought in Vernon Broughton as a guy that they really anticipated, being a potential big run stuffer there in the middle in the future. They obviously brought in Devon Gottschall as well as the nose tackle to try to fortify that defensive front. You obviously still have Brian Brzee there, who used a first-round pick on a few years ago. But whereas you had issues against the run in week 1, you really performed well against the run here. And it's not to say that losing Vernon Broughton is going to be some massive windfall of negativity for the New Orleans Saints this year, because I don't know that your win total changes. It's just one of those where, as we continue to say, you look at this season, and if the season is about finding out what you have in these young draft picks, well, now that's one guy who you're really hoping and counting on to be an impact guy for you, maybe carving out a role, is now likely done for the year for his rookie season. The flip side of that is, with Julian Blackmon injury, you get to find out more about Jonas Sanker, who started and was second on the team in tackles behind only Demario Davis. And so you look at Jonas Sanker and you go, okay, well, that's a good start for Sanker, and maybe we're going to look back in time and say, this was the emergence of a young player like that becomes a starter, and you're really hoping that was going to happen for Broughton as well. But Sanker against San Francisco, his overall defensive grade was a 70. And he graded out really well in his first start, a 69.9 against the run, 65.3 in coverage, 64.4 tackling grade. So played 71 snaps against San Francisco after playing just 1 snap against Arizona. So I want to see the young guys continue to develop. Just disappointing that looks like Broughton is going to be done for the year. Whenever we get that news officially, we'll certainly pass it along, talk about what the Saints may elect to do there on the defensive line. We're brought to you by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online, southpointvw.com. southpointvw.com, that's the website. You can check them out. They always got great deals over at South Point Volkswagen, like 4.9% on 2025 Taos, or you can get $500 customer bonus on select trims. You can check it out right now at southpointvw.com for all their deals. I encourage you all the time, go to the website, southpointvw.com. There's a specials tab right at the top. You want to see all the deals that they have on their new or certified pre-owned vehicles. They got it there. And remember, if it's on the lot, it's online at southpointvw.com. That's southpointvw.com. 9 different IIHS top safety picks. It's the highest safety designation. So I tell you all the time, you get the style, feel, performance of luxury with all the great safety features and without the cost. It's at South Point Volkswagen, Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer, southpointvw.com. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction? All right, y'all, it is after further review. We're waiting to hear what else Kellen Moore said of consequence coming out of the game yesterday against the San Francisco 49ers. Is the Saints are now going to go on the road for the first time this year. They're heading up to Seattle on Sunday to take on the Seahawks. That game did open with New Orleans as an 8-point underdog. So really a disappointing to lose the first 2 games at home. And for what was at one point such a great home field advantage for New Orleans, it's just gone, man. The Saints have not won a game at home since last year in December when they beat forgive me, it was the Cleveland game. It was the last game they won at home. They beat Cleveland 35-14 on November the 17th. That's the last time the Saints have won a home game. After that, after they beat Cleveland, they lost at home to the Rams, to Washington, to Las Vegas, and then obviously have now started 0-2 at home this year. So they've lost 5 straight home games, have the New Orleans Saints. I think the next time they're in the Dome is probably the next time they'll have an opportunity to win a game. I do not think they're going to win this week in Seattle. I do not think they're going to win, obviously, at Buffalo. But you come home and play the Giants and then the Patriots in consecutive weeks, in weeks 5 and 6. And I think you have an opportunity to win either of those games. So, I don't think this is going to be a winless team or anything. I think that's silly. But you can win those games. I think you'll have a real opportunity to get a win or 2 in your division. You do get the Jets in New Orleans on December 21st in Week 16. I think that's certainly a winnable game. You got some other games against lesser teams in the NFL, but they're on the road. You're at Chicago. You're at Miami. You're at Tennessee. But, it's hard to win on the road unless you're coming into the Dome these days. So we'll keep you posted on all that as the Saints work their way through through this week as they hit the road for the first time, back-to-back road trips. And not only just back-to-back road trips, going to opposite corners of the country, right? I mean, they're going to go to Seattle in the Pacific Northwest, come home, and then they're going to go to Buffalo in upstate New York. So a tough back-to-back travel week as well for New Orleans. So they'll be without Vernon Broughton, it would appear, for the season. All right, it's after further review. We're glad you're with us. Our Monday shows are brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Windows door siding. They do shutters as well. Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. All right, quick break. Gordon McKernan is going to be in studio in about half an hour from right now. When we come back, we talked plenty about LSU beating Florida, but it was a really monumental day for the future of LSU's quarterback position as LSU has landed a quarterback for the class of 2027. We want to talk about it next here on AFR.
After further review.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Looking for cleaner energy? propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit louisianapropane.com.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Businesses like yours are the soul of our community. You deserve someone who'll deliver the internet services you deserve. That's why local businesses rely on Rev Business, 90 years of building connections. Visit us at letsrev.biz.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
All right, glad you're rolling along with us. Tigers got a commitment from Peyton Houston, quarterback from Evangel. I want to talk about that in a second. Of course, love telling you about Shaw Bills, this 5-star Google review. Office staff was great. Spent a lot of time making sure I got the best price on tires. I also needed some suspension work done. They were great with communication as they found issues. Plan on bringing my other vehicles there as they need service. Highly recommended. Another 5-star Google review. Say it all the time. They'll sell you name brand tires at wholesale prices, and they'll keep you coming back year after year after year because they're going to treat you like family. You buy the best tires at the cheapest price, and they treat you great, so you keep coming back for everything you need with your vehicle forever. It's Shaw Bills. They've been doing that for almost 60 years now. No wonder it works. ShawBillsTire.com. ShawBillsTire.com. Shaw Bills, where we keep you rolling. On Tuesday of last week, we visited with Shay Dixon from On 3, the Bengal Tiger. And we were primarily talking about Landon Duckworth. And Landon Duckworth is the quarterback who's currently committed to South Carolina for the 2026 class. But our attention did drift to the 2027 class because Monday, today, Peyton Houston, a top 10 quarterback in the class of 2027, was set to make his college announcement. This is where things stood a week ago with Peyton Houston.
On wait and see, because Peyton Houston announces Monday, and this weekend he'll be at the LSU Florida game. So LSU getting the final visit, getting the chance to talk to him and his family before he makes that announcement. I'll wait and see. I don't think this one is one where LSU just doesn't have a shot and he's going to end up at Oklahoma.
Okay. Shea ended up somewhat prophetic here because Peyton Houston was initially thought to be a Southern Cal lean. And then it certainly seemed in recruiting circles like Peyton Houston was going to land at Oklahoma and be a Sooner. And then on Monday, again, as you heard Shea say there, Peyton Houston was in Baton Rouge this past weekend for the LSU Florida game with a ton of elite level prospects for 2027. And on Monday, Peyton Houston did in fact commit to the LSU Tigers, picking LSU, becoming the first quarterback commit or the first commit for the class of 2027 for LSU, and obviously the first quarterback domino to fall. Now, I understand this is a bit curious for LSU fans because you have 3 top 10 quarterbacks in the country that you're in on, and you kind of want all of them, but you want the best one. And it's like, do you take the bird in hand when there might be something better? It's a weird sort of in-between spot, right? Let me talk about that a bit more and how this announcement will impact potentially Elijah Haven and Colton Nussmeier. But first, like the deets on Peyton Houston, okay? Peyton Houston is an elite level prospect by anybody's metric. In the composite ranking, he's the number 94 overall prospect, the number 8 quarterback in the country. So he's a top 10 quarterback in the country for 2027. As a matter of fact, ESPN ranks Peyton Houston as the number 1 quarterback in the country for the 2027 signing class. Peyton Houston, I always say it, we could talk star rating, ranking, all that stuff. I am far more interested in who offered you. Let's run through his offers. We already told you that Oklahoma and Southern Cal were on the list. What about Texas, Clemson, Georgia, Penn State, Notre Dame, Ole Miss, Texas A&M, Miami, Pitt, Purdue, Houston, TCU, Arkansas, Colorado, Tennessee, Baylor, SMU, everybody. Everybody in the country wanted this kid. He had a game where he accounted for 800 yards in a game a year ago as a high school sophomore. Like, elite level prospect, top 10 in the country in the composite. Everybody wanted him. He picked LSU. Let me also remind you kind of how LSU got to this point. I understand for a lot of people who follow recruiting all the time, you know this, but for the benefit of the person who maybe isn't nose down in this stuff all the time, I'll kind of remind you what happened. So we all know about Bryce Underwood. He was the number 1 player in the country for 2025. LSU had him committed for a year. A week before signing day, he leaves LSU at the altar. Because quarterbacks generally commit a year early, when Underwood flipped, it was too late to get anybody from 2025, and all the elite prospects for 2026 were already committed. So LSU had to go to work because nobody from 26 was going to commit to LSU a year behind Bryce Underwood, knowing they were going to sit for 2 years behind Underwood. So when Underwood's no longer part of the picture, LSU starts getting in the mix for Bo Bentley. They end up in the final 2. Bo Bentley out of Salina in Texas picks Oklahoma. So LSU still doesn't have a quarterback for 2026. Remember, you didn't sign one in 25, and now you don't have one committed for 2026. Meanwhile, Ricky Collins left, A.J. Swan left. You brought in Michael Van Buren. So you got 3 scholarship quarterbacks right now, and you know Garrett Nussmeier is going to be gone after the season. So at best, nothing else changes. You're going into next year with 2 quarterbacks. So you want to add a high school quarterback if you can flip one. Landon Duckworth, currently committed to South Carolina, is the guy that LSU is now targeting. He was on campus for the Louisiana Tech weekend. And they're probably also going to add a transfer portal quarterback. But as you look to 2027, it's when these numbers are probably going to get back on track. Regardless of what happens with Hurley and with Van Buren, LSU is going to add a portal quarterback in this cycle. The question is, do they add another A.J. Swan, like a depth piece, or are they looking for a starter, like they did with Jaden Daniels, where you went in the portal and got it? I'm not saying you're going to sign a Heisman winner. What I'm saying is he was a guy that started for 3 years at Arizona State, and you brought him to LSU. Like, are you going to get someone who's got years of Power 4 starting experience, or are you getting a depth piece? That's going to be the question of what LSU does. But they're going to add a quarterback in the portal in this coming cycle. When you look ahead to 2027, it's an interesting year because you have 3 elite-level quarterback prospects for the class of 2027 that LSU has close ties to all of them. Now, Peyton Houston is out of Evangel, as we see, but Elijah Haven is the number 1 quarterback in the country for 2027. He's right here in Baton Rouge at the Dunham School. So that's where I think it's one of these weird bird in hand type things, where fans are looking at this going, man, that's great that you got a commitment from Peyton Houston, but are you taking a commitment from Peyton Houston at the expense of getting Elijah Haven? Now, Elijah Haven, 6'4", 205, 5-star, the number 1 quarterback in the country for the 2027 class. He's the number 15 overall player in 27 in the composite. But I firmly believe that if you have any one of these 3 guys, Haven, Houston, Nussmeier, and they want to commit to you, you take their commitment. Because if they want to commit and you don't take their commitment and you hem and haw, then you are effectively showing your hand and what you think about them, that they're not a priority for you. The other thing worth mentioning, Colton Nussmeier, in all the on-3 arrivals projections, is 99% projected to LSU. So there is a world in which Colton Nussmeier and Peyton Houston could both end up in the LSU class. Now, you're not going to take 3, and you're not going to have 3 quarterbacks signed together. So if you get those 2, then you're not going to get Elijah Haven. I think the question is, right now, of these 3, which do you value the most? And I know what fans are going to say. They're going to look at the shiny ranking on Elijah Haven and say, that's the guy we want. He's in Baton Rouge. And I don't necessarily disagree with that sentiment. I can't say that I know a ton about it. Nussmeier is 6'3.5", 200 pounds. He's a lefty. He's number 84 in the composite. He's the number 6 quarterback in the country, the 10th best player in the state of Texas. So you're talking about right now with with Peyton Houston already committed, a top 10 quarterback, and a very likely commitment from Colton Nussmeier. You're likely to have 2 top 10 quarterbacks in the country for next year, both commit to your 2027 class. Now, that means you wouldn't get Elijah Haven, but okay. Haven right now is thought to be a Florida lean, and that obviously could change based on what happens with Billy Napier. If Billy Napier's fired, does that change? Maybe. Don't know. We'll wait and see how it all plays out. But the bottom line is LSU doesn't have a bad option. Like, that's the great news. You've got you're in on 3 top 10 quarterbacks in the country. You got a commitment now from the number 8 quarterback in the country. The number 6 quarterback is the brother of your current quarterback, who's thought to be a heavy lean to LSU, and the number 1 quarterback in the country is 10 minutes down the road at the Dunham School. For a program that has seen its quarterback war chest, its stockpile, its depth absolutely gutted because of what happened with Bryce Underwood, this is a really good situation to be in because you're going to be able to rebuild your numbers through the high school rankings here with elite level prospects that can help bridge, that you'll get a transfer this year, hopefully, Van Buren or a transfer this year that can bridge the gap to whoever ends up in this 2027 class that can hopefully in 28, 29, potentially 30, lead your program into the future. But don't sit here today as an LSU fan dismayed because you think you're going to get Colton Nussmeier and you got a commitment from Houston, which means you're not going to get Haven. Be thrilled at the fact that you're probably going to land 2 top 10 quarterbacks, 2 top 8 quarterbacks in the country for 2027. Long way to go before December of 26 when these guys are going to sign. I mean, you're a year and you're 15 months away from them signing. A lot's going to happen between now and then. But you needed to solidify the quarterback spot. You needed to solidify the most important position in organized team sports. And you've started the process of doing that here with Peyton Houston's commitment. One more from Shea, who in that conversation we had with him a week ago, also kind of recapped LSU's late push for Peyton Houston.
LSU has pushed and prioritized him as hard as they have any other quarterback over the past few months, which, you could call a shift from how things play out, but that's recruiting. even more so at quarterback in a class where you probably are going to take more than one guy. So I think that over time, different teams surge, but I would say that LSU is right up there with anyone who has recruited them the hardest over the past few months. And look, we'll see how it goes, like I said. But we've known for a while that there was going to be Haven in Baton Rouge, Nussmeier in Texas, and then Houston emerged pretty quickly as one of the best players in the country up at Evangel.
I also think one other thing was Shea mentioning that LSU is going to take 2 or wants to take 2, and that all of these quarterbacks they're recruiting know that LSU wants to take 2 quarterbacks in the 2027 cycle. When you have guys that don't shy away from that, I think that's a pretty good sign of competitive nature. Now, we also know that Garrett Nussmeier is going to be the first quarterback since Jordan Jefferson and Jarrett Lee to start their career at LSU and finish their career at LSU. So whoever you sign, if you get Duckworth in 26, whoever you get in 27, just looking at the last 15 years of history, it's the odds are they're not going to finish their career here. But that doesn't mean you ignore that position, because you could end up with a Garrett Nussmeier. 27 is going to be a really important class, y'all. It is unenviable because for a long time we thought the way they're going to build this is, all right, well, you'll have Bryce Underwood in 26, 27. You know, he'd sit behind Nussmeier in 25. He'd be the starter in 26, 27. And then Haven would sit behind Underwood in 27 and then be the quarterback 28, 29. And you felt like you were good all the way up until 2030 with those elite level quarterbacks. But you got thrown a monkey wrench a year ago when Underwood left you at the altar, and they're trying to pick up the pieces here. This is a significant day to get a top 10 quarterback like Peyton Houston committed for the class of 2027. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com, lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Gents, if you're thinking of popping the question, it's mid-September. We're getting close to the holidays. Holidays when a lot of people like to pop the question. If you're starting to think about that, make sure you go by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. If you're starting to shop for that beautiful diamond engagement ring, Lee Michaels has the best selection at the best price with the best service. That's why you go to Lee Michaels. It's not the impersonal experience at one of the big box stores and maybe doesn't have the best selection. It's not the expensive experience at one of the boutique jewelers where it's going to be expensive and they don't have the best selection. Lee Michaels is just right because they have 10 stores. They get the great selection so they can offer you the best price, but they also have the best selection. If they don't have what you want, they'll find it. If they can't find it, they'll make it. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com. All right, y'all, it is After Further Review. We're glad to have you aboard with us. We're going to go hit Tigers and the Pros when we come back. I would assume we'll have an update on both Joe Burrow and Jaden Daniels, a couple of former Heisman-winning quarterbacks at LSU, both injured on the same day in the NFL. Both looks like they're facing extended recovery periods in the National Football League, so we'll get to that. And Gordon McKernan will be in studio with us in about 15 minutes from right now. Always love we get a few minutes with G. We'll talk a little NIL. The G team's got Garrett Nussmeier, of course, part of the G team now. Learned today Nuss dealing with a little bit of a torso injury. We'll get Gordon's take on that. We're glad you're hanging out with us here on a Monday edition of AFR presented by Relief Windows. Don't you move.
After Further Review.
Man, we are heading toward the holiday season. Maybe as we start to think ahead to the holidays where there's a lot of parties, a lot of gatherings, maybe you eat, you gain weight, maybe you imbibe a little too much. Remember everything that they have to offer over at Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness and also at Unique Physique. So it's actually 3 entities all in one. There's Goodwood, which is the men's clinic. There's Unique Physique, which offers the GLP-1 meds, right? Like semaglutide, tirzepatide. And then there's Unique Aesthetics and Wellness, which is the aesthetics clinic, lasers, Botox, all that sort of stuff. It's all there on Drusilla near each other. When we talk about Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness, of course, hormone replacement therapy. They do ED treatments if you're struggling with that. And all the peptide therapies that I've told you about as well, like NAD+, BPC 157. Learn more about the ways it can help you feel your best. YourGoodwood.com.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and First American Bank and Trust bring you the Heart of the Game Award, recognizing student athletes who deliver when it counts. Nominate your game day standout at 1045ESPN.com by the 21st. We'll choose 5 male and 5 female finalists, and then it's up to the fans to vote for the winners. Each winner gets a $250 gift card, a custom award, and the spotlight they've earned. Presented by First American Bank and Trust, a banking tradition since 1910.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
River Parish Contractors has immediate openings for structural steel shop fabricators. Call or text Big Jake today at 318-547-1000 or go to rpcontractors.com and click on employment. River Parish Contractors. Let's get building.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient, and the savings are even greater with a tankless propane water heater. We all know that Louisiana propane is a safe and environmentally friendly fuel. So why not go green while you save some green? I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and for more information, visit louisianapropane.com.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle the...
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
Wrapping up hour number 2. By the way, Jay Johnson out there doing work. Got 2 more commitments today if you're scoring at home. That's 4 commitments since Saturday, including 3 of the top players in the state of Louisiana. It's pretty incredible. I was looking at the Prep Baseball Louisiana rankings, which is kind of considered the best of the high school baseball rankings. They got Lawton Littleton today, a lefty out of Barb. I talked to one of my scout buddies today who told me he comps to Cade Anderson. Yay. Cade Luker committed over the weekend. Jordan Griffin, Devin Downs, Koa Romero, Jack Lee. The top 6 players in Louisiana for 2027 are all now LSU commitments. Thank you very much. Jay Johnson out there doing work. If you want to read about them all, everything's up there for free over at louisianasports.net, louisianasports.net. All right, Muso. Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
All right. The Bengals played the Jaguars in that game. Joe Burrow got sacked, left the game. Turns out it's turf toe. Grade 3 turf toe with multiple torn ligaments. So the news was made public today. Zach Taylor confirming Joe Burrow will have surgery on his toe and will miss 3 months because of that. He's got a toe. That should put him back mid-December. That's going to be Jake Browning until then. But just a bummer, man. They haven't been able to keep Joe Burrow clean and resulted in a lot of injuries for him early in his career. And
Can I change my Super Bowl pick?
And what might have been. I I hate the Bengals for that a lot. Anyway, in that game, though, Jamar Chase had 14 receptions for 165 yards and a touchdown because he's still awesome. He also had a tackle on one of Jake Browning's 3 interceptions. Jaden Daniels.
They still won?
They still
and
won.
They were losing when Joey B left the game.
They still won. Jaden Daniels, you remember Thursday night against the Packers, suffered a knee injury. Monday, when Dan Quinn met with the media, he confirmed that Daniels is day-to-day. Didn't specify the injury, but that's why we have Adam Schefter, who, according to his sources, say it's a knee sprain. Day-to-day for Sunday. What does that mean? Well, has to hit a bunch of markers, including strength, the movements, his pivoting and things of that nature, stopping, changing directions. We'll keep you updated, but it's a knee sprain for Jaden Daniels. Damone Clark, 4 stops in the game for the Cowboys. On the other side, with the Giants, Malik Neighbors, 9 receptions, 167 yards, 2 touchdowns. That was a fantastic game, actually, by the way. He also had a tackle in the game, as did Cordell Flott. Had 2 of them and 2 passes defended. Very, very nice there. I lost my spot. Patrick Queen had a great day. That's Tigers and Pros.
Presented by Arco Power Systems, ARCCO, Arco Power Systems. It's this easy. We talk about generators all the time in Louisiana because we have storms and the power goes out. I'm not talking about your home. This is for your business. It's Generac Industrial Power. It's Arco Power Systems. Now, one of the awesome things about Arco is while they're based right here in Baton Rouge, they service businesses all over the Gulf South. They go as far west as San Antonio, east to Mobile. They're about to open up their Little Rock office in Dallas. So if you're watching or listening, even if you're not in Baton Rouge, Arco Power Systems can help get you the generator power you need. Permanent options, rental options. They can service your generators. Listen, when your business goes offline, you can't let that happen. Arco Power Systems will help. ARCCO, arco.com, arco.com. Okay, y'all, it's after further review. Gordon McKernan in studio to kick off hour number 3 next.
AFR.
I love telling you about First South Farm Credit. It's a great local business that's been around for more than 100 years, since 1916. 2 world wars, the Great Depression, hurricanes, droughts, financial collapses, but First South Farm Credit has still been there. First, when it comes to helping farmers buy that land for agriculture. First, when it comes to you buying that hunting property, that recreational property. First, when it comes to helping you buy land to build your family's dream home. It's First South Farm Credit. Your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. And because they're member-owned, they don't sell your loan. They offer the patronage refund, which effectively lowers your cost of borrowing. They'll offer loan and note modifications. It's effectively a refi when rates come down. They'll call you when rates drop to let you know. It's a great thing about doing business with people who are local. FirstSouthLand.com.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Parrish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parrishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown, parrishbuilt.com.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. This, it's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
While Louisiana politics can seem like they're from another planet, Moon Griffon isn't afraid to bring politicians back down to earth. Listen to the Moon Griffon Show weekday mornings at 9 on Talk 107.3.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Mornings with Brian Haldane is the only live and local talk show in the capital city. Get the news from the newsmakers, along with traffic and weather updates throughout the morning. The conversation starts weekday mornings at 6 on Talk 107.3.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. A lot of quarterback injury news on this Monday. Washington's Jaden Daniels has a sprained left knee, leaving his status against the Raiders on Sunday in doubt. It's a big deal, explains ESPN NFL analyst Dan Orlovsky.
This offense is uniquely built around Jaden Daniels. If you think about the way that they use no huddle, the way that they utilize him in their run game, the way that they can hold the backside of defense to help some people on that run game, his escapability in some of their RPO game and some of their break the pocket stuff in the fourth down. So this is a big loss for Washington, not only by the week, but also what long-term effect it could have on how he can operate their offense.
Marcus Mariota gets the call if Daniels is out. Minnesota's J.J. McCarthy likely out 2 to 4 weeks with a high ankle sprain. Vikings likely turn to Carson Wentz versus Cincinnati this week. Jake Browning expected to be under center for Cincinnati in that game. Joe Burrow needs toe surgery. He's likely out 3 months at minimum. Jets preparing to possibly start quarterback Tyrod Taylor this week if Justin Fields can't play due to a concussion.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive can help you protect your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, ATV, and RV, and more. And if something wasn't mentioned that you had in mind, find out if it can be covered at Progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE, because it probably can be.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from downtown Baton Rouge.
Let's ride!
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
So. And Mr. Toby Tom Play. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you're driving home with us. Tigers moved to 3-0. Saints moved to 0-2. Anytime we get a shot to get Gordon McKernan in studio, we love to do it. Talk a little Tigers, talk a little NIL, all that stuff. The Gordfather of NIL, as I believe T-Bob ordained you years ago. How are you, man?
I'm doing great, man. Really am.
I hadn't seen you. We talk and text sometimes. I haven't seen you in a little while. You had a busy summer.
I did.
Daughter got married?
Daughter got married out in California. I had a grandson born this past
Congratulations.
spring. So those two things kind of kept me occupied.
Major life events, man.
Yeah.
You love to see it.
Yeah, they're great, though.
We all sort of move into the graduating the next phase of life, right? You're maybe a decade ahead of me, but It's still a great time, man. We're glad to have you in studio. I guess I know you're obviously a huge Tiger fan through 3 games.
Right.
Everybody's melting over the offense right now. Where are you on this team right now at 3-0 and ranked number 3 in the country with all the stuff apparently wrong with it?
Yeah, we're 3-0 and ranked number 3 in the country.
Yeah, pretty good.
We're winning, right?
Yeah.
And it's so hard to win a football game in college, much less SEC type caliber football. Those close to the program, you understand just how it's fortunate we are to be in the position. A few things go wrong, we'd be 1-2.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the landscape right now that's being wrecked in college football. Perennial great teams are suffering. It's crazy out there with the portal and NIL. Teams can rise up overnight, literally.
Yeah. Think just this year.
Yeah.
Clemson and Notre Dame.
Yeah.
I mean, Clemson is 1-2.
That's right.
With a close loss at home to LSU and then a close loss at the gun to Georgia Tech on the road.
That's right.
And look at Notre Dame, which close loss on the road at Miami, close loss at home to Texas A&M.
Right.
I mean, I understand. I totally understand the fan frustration because we all want to see LSU win a championship.
Right.
And it's sometimes hard to overlook the shortcomings even in a win because you think, what might that cost you in the future?
That's right.
But at the same time, you could be Notre Dame or Clemson right now sitting there with 2 losses going, you have zero margin for error the rest of the way.
Yeah, and I think we're probably just reminiscing from a couple of years back where Jaden was here, and we had the opposite happening. We had this world-class offense, and where was our defense? And now I think we're going, wow, is it flipped this time? Could we just take Jaden's offense from 2 years ago and bring it back? And I think we're just a little scared about that. The defense is going to be like the old defense of old, and can our offense get going?
It's the Les Miles era, man.
It is, but it's going to. I have faith that Garrett and Joe and BK are going to figure it out.
That's the big difference, though, right? In that era, I don't know that you had the pieces to be explosive offensively in the pass game.
That's right.
At times, look, I mean, you had the Mettenberger, Jarvis Odell, which was incredible.
Right.
But for the most part of that era, you didn't have the type of quarterback play you needed. Garrett Nussmeier is a 4,000-yard passer.
Oh,
we know he can. You signed that Heisman-winning quarterback, Jaden. You've also signed now Garrett as well. How did that deal come together?
Through the collective, gave a nice size check to them, and they knew that I had done a little bit with Garrett in the past, and had continued to say, look, I'd love to do something with him. He's such a great kid. I don't know how much time you spent with him, but
just like you would in press conferences.
You're talking about, you want someone to marry your daughter. That's the type of young man you want to marry your daughter, who's engaged, by the way. But man, I mean, tell you, leadership, yes sir, no sir, polite. We brought him out to our court to table pickleball place, and he was supposed to be there like 30 minutes. We kept him for an hour and a half, and he never tried to. Once we got him playing a little bit. He was playing pickleball. He's doing cornhole. I was like, you can't get injured. I mean, all my goodwill that I've built up, if you blow a knee going for pickleball, it's over. Don't do that for me.
Is that where he had his torso injury? Is that what happened here?
I had a little drop shot on him. He had to reach down. I got him. I didn't want it to come out, but that's what happened. I did injure Garrett. That'll be all over Tiger droppings.
Don't go spread those rumors.
No.
Don't go spread those rumors.
No, but he spent an hour and a half extra and just was fine and great, meeting people, greeting people. Yeah, he's just a great guy. So that type of leadership, kind of like watching last night's game with McCarthy, and they're talking about the type of leader he is, even though they lost. That's what he has. So he's special.
What do you think about? I know today Brian Kelly talked about the torso injury. What do you think? Or I know you had Garrett in the garage, in the studio. I mean, did he let on? Did you know anything about?
No, he's never the type to say like I'm restricted. I'm not 100%. He goes, I'm out there. I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
But as close as I am to the program, there's been a little bit of a lingering thing that I think has bothered him. It doesn't prevent him from making throws, but it's there. But he's fighting through it, which he's a competitor and he should.
It's such a strange thing too, because I mentioned here and basically on every platform I'm on that you first heard about that the Saturday before the Clemson game,
right,
when they had their walkthrough. And man, everybody around the program, when you ask, it was just like, it's nothing. It's nothing.
Right.
It's nothing. It's nothing. It was just completely downplayed to the point where, and then he's continuing to practice and to play, so you start to go, okay, well, it's nothing. And so then it makes me wonder, like, is the sort of the stagnation with the offense right now, is it because of that torso thing, Or is it because, like, what I think it is, which is they're still waiting for this offensive line to get better to where they feel like they're able to run the ball and complement and be able to give Garrett Nussmeier time to let things stretch down the field.
Right. I agree with you. And I don't know how we build this burger, whether it's a nothing burger, it's a double quarter pounder burger, but you've got some meat in there, what you're saying. That offensive line, from what I listen to and what I hear in the program, they're trying to still figure out the rotation, getting the confidence, giving the quarterback and the offensive coordinator the confidence to make certain calls. So I don't think you're seeing all of Garrett's abilities being displayed, and nor do I think you see all of Joe Sloan's playbook being displayed, simply because they're trying to figure out the offensive line.
Yeah, hopefully they get there. I mean, they got talent. Sometimes it just
takes time.
Takes time for 5 to gel as one, man. And, the other thing, too, G, is like we spent the whole, every day in fall camp. We go out there for practice. We do these practice reports. And we come back here and I sit at this microphone. I'm like, that defensive front, it's just like it's like a purple wave.
Oh,
just
it is.
overwhelming that offensive line. We talked about it so much, and they get in games and the offensive line's struggling. It's like, well,
I think there's two things. I think you have a purple wave, front, right?
Yeah,
that defensive line is special. And I was told, before the season by some of the coaches, it's going to take a little while for this offensive line to get going. It just will. And you don't understand how. And I didn't play offensive line, so those guys coming together to understand the audibles and pick up protection and stunts, it just takes a little bit of time, and they're still fighting through that.
I hope they get there, man. Gordon McKernan's in studio with us. He's on Twitter at GetGordon, getGordon.com. You know where to find him also. By the way, so Garrett's on the G team. Who else we have on the G team this fall?
Yeah, so right now we have Aaron Anderson, and we have Tredez Green, and we have Damian Ramos so far. Those are the guys that have presently signed. Still working on some others, and I think we'll be announcing those soon. But the Weeks brothers, they're always fun and interesting, and that's being put together right now.
So that's not done, but it's being worked on?
Final things, yeah. I think it's
all
it's
three?
All three. That's, yeah. Come on, man. I'm going to get one of the three?
Well, I don't know, man. Or two. I don't want to leave Zach out of there, but I just saw the field for the first time.
No, it's a great story. I mean, think about that. Imagine the household growing up. Mom, dad sit in the household, and those three guys come in.
Yeah.
And the bickering starts, and they start going at it, and you got to feed them and all the stuff. I mean, I imagine that was wild.
They're all about 5 years, like from West to Zach, they're about 5 years apart. I mean, that's whoo. Yeah. I mean, my brother and I were 16 months apart, and my mom had to deal with the two of us.
Oh, yeah.
Which I'm sure we were a pain in the neck.
Yeah.
Fighting and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Imagine having three of them all like that,
Oh, yeah.
especially with like the ability those guys have.
Oh,
it's unbelievable.
And then looking at some of the secondary, Pickett and Halsey and some of those guys delaying, just trying to go where the guys who are making plays are.
Yeah, let's you got time for another segment?
Sure.
Okay, well, because I want to break it, I want to come back because I do want to talk to Gordon about that, about the whole NIL space, which of course he's been at the forefront of that since NIL began 4 years ago. And also how things have maybe shifted a little bit with revenue share. So we're glad to have Gordon in studio. We're going to knock out a break, come back, and we'll continue this conversation next on AFR, presented by Relief Windows.
AFR.
I'm going to be over at Renaissance Baton Rouge for a little bit tomorrow. Actually, there's a really cool event that's going to be going on with Pro Football Hall of Famer Emmitt Smith. So I'm going to tell you, it doesn't matter if it's a charity event featuring a Pro Football Hall of Famer, or if it's the LSU football team moving their entire operation to Renaissance Baton Rouge the Friday before a home game. Renaissance Baton Rouge can host whatever event you have. Their grand ballroom can host up to 500 people. They've got their breakout rooms. They got boardrooms that can host a dozen people with all the integrated technology. They can have your meals in the boardroom as well. It's all there. Allison Crump, who's the event coordinator, both Renaissance Baton Rouge and Watermark Downtown, likes to say, we're in the business of saying yes. So whatever event you have, they can host it. Reach out today. It's on Bluebonnet. It's Renaissance Baton Rouge.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
When it comes to pipe fabrication, time is money. And at River Parish Contractors, we make every second count. Our 36,000 square foot shop is ready to take on your projects right now. With experienced welders, precise fittings, and fast turnarounds you can trust. Whether it's a single custom spool or a full-scale run, we have the capacity and the skill to keep your job on schedule. Call us or visit rpcontractors.com for your quote. That's rpcontractors.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $22,500 off MSRP on the brand new 2025 Ram 1500 Laramie with $22,500 off MSRP with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Baton Rouge's home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin. AC/DC. Pearl Jam. And the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Tiger Country is 100.7 The Tiger. In the car on 100.7 FM or on the 100.7 The Tiger app.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
Rolling along, got Gordon McKernan in studio with us. Always appreciate the conversation. You know, you and I have had these talks really for 4 years talking NIL. I remember like I DM'd you on Twitter randomly one time, like whenever maybe you did the first deal with Kayshawn back in the day to talk about it. You mentioned some of the names that you've already got on the roster for this fall, but I am curious how much, or if at all, you've seen an evolution or any changes with us now being in this rev share era.
One thing I'm noticing immediately this year, since LSU is more involved in play fly, it seems like the cooperation of the players is much higher, right? There seems to be the programs behind it. And if they're supposed to show up to do something or are supposed to put the post, it seems to be a lot more seamless and easier. And I think they know that, you know, BK is watching somewhere behind all this, and it's important. You're getting paid. It comes through us, and you're going to do it. So not that they were bad, but it's just it's easier. I don't have as many people chasing them. They're showing up. They're doing a great job.
So that's the play fly NILSU.
Yeah, correct.
We're at an event. If you're watching or listening, we were at an event over at Tiger Stadium a few weeks back for that organization. Effectively, LSU is now helping the student athletes not only facilitate deals but also the deliverables,
correct,
which is what Gordon's talking about here. Do you think that the rev share component is a good thing, like from the LSU perspective? Like it's a good thing from the LSU perspective?
Well, obviously Scott doesn't want to lose $20 million right off the top line of the budget, but he's very good at making it up for it in other places. So I think they had to come up with some sort of salary cap, right, where they could let the players benefit from their name, image, and likeness, but still at the same time build some certainty into the athletic programs and their budgets, and they'll just absorb it and figure it out and, you know, make up for it in other places.
I mean, you run a really big business.
Right.
All right. I mean, like, anybody can just go Google it. You see, like, you run a really big business.
Yeah.
a $20 million line item in 1 year. No, that doesn't happen to anybody.
No.
Like now they've had a couple of years to anticipate this. Now they prepare for it.
Right.
But do you feel like you said like, you'll go find new ways for revenue. That's fine, but it's not as easy as saying we're just going to go find $20 million in revenue. So like, where do you think it's two things, right? You got to increase revenue and you got to decrease expenses. Where do you feel that the most?
Yeah, I don't think they're decreasing expenses. They're not. I mean, they run a good program. Moscona's not going to cut back on things and handicap these coaches across the board. He's going to give them everything to be successful because he knows if they do that, better product on the floor, they're going to be able to sell better TV rights, better season ticket sales, all those things. I think he's doing a great job doing that. I just think you're going to see, it'll be passed on to ticket holders, suite holders, and they'll also do a lot of public-private partnership things that they're really good at. The lake comes in and writes big checks to do things, and he's able to figure it out like that, managing the money or generating more revenue in other places.
Do you think they can generate $20 million of revenue, additional $20 million of revenue in 1 year?
I think they are.
Wow.
Yeah. And there are donors still helping,
Yeah.
So they've got their $20 million, then the donors, the money that we put up to help with this transfer portal class, that helped.
But that's the other thing that I think there's a lot of confusion. And I do my best to try to explain this, but even still, G, it's hard because there's people say, well, how much is invested in the roster? Mm-hmm. And Brian Kelly said on the record, $18 million. But even still, there's a blended number, right?
That's
because
right.
you have revenue share and NIL, so it's really hard to even come up with a real number.
Yeah, there's three parts to it. There's the rev share, then there's the collective Bayou Traditions or whatever running through that, and then there's the individual one-off deals that now the university can know about and help coordinate, right? So I would imagine that number is probably higher if you're really factoring it all in.
Yeah, it's also how you structure deals
right,
as
right.
well.
Yes.
So when you structure a deal with a player, but are you involved in structuring those at all, or is it people on your team?
No, on my
do
team do it, but I generally know it's now going to be a one semester deal, typically August through December or January, right, for the football team. So, but it's basically the season of play. That's all we're going to pay for now.
So what did you do before?
Oh, we used to do longer deals. We would sign a 9-month or 10-month deal. I would just give off during the summer, but I don't do that anymore.
Why would you do the 9-month?
Well, because
deal?
the portal is it was opening twice then, and all of a sudden you pay the kid and he's entering the portal.
Got it.
And I don't want to sue the kid to get the money back.
So
not a good look.
No, right.
No.
But the other part of this, which is interesting now, with the high school NIL component,
right,
is so you could do NIL deals with high school students now.
Oh yeah,
legally.
The quarterback we signed, his agent reached out to me this week.
Peyton Houston, who committed today.
Yeah, he was like, "Look, he's committing," and I'm like, "Well, how do I know he's committing? You want me to write a check? I don't know he's committing. That's a big deal." So
next time an agent calls you and tells you he's committing, you call me. You let me know.
Give you that scoop.
Yeah,
all
let
right.
me know that's happening.
Note to self.
Yeah, but high school NIL can happen, but the component of that I've shared here is those, for example, Peyton Houston, who committed, he undoubtedly has a deal with the collective for high school NIL. Like he's going to get paid before he comes to campus.
I would imagine so.
But the contracts are written as such where if you leave or decommit, you got to get that money back.
Yeah.
So do you think that's actually going to happen?
No. I don't think donors or collectives or universities are going to be in the business of trying to get money back from the kids.
That's so interesting. So why then would you sign them to a contract that has that stipulation?
Well, it doesn't matter so much. This is when we had the longer contracts, right? Now I was paying them monthly because I'm not paying them all up front, right?
Right.
At least I wasn't then. But now they're getting more of their money up front. But at least it's for the season. If they leave after the season, you're fine. You got your deliverables.
So Gordon McKernan's in studio with us. It's really interesting just how this is all evolving,
right,
and you're learning through the space. And you were such like an early mover in the whole thing. And I know you've said before here that you never thought that this was a path that you were going to go, but here you are and still going. So I guess the question is, why are you still going this path?
It's that stadium and those Saturday night, or watching Jay build a baseball team or Kim build a basketball team. You just get caught up. You love the school, you love the excitement, and you just get caught up in it. Yeah, it's not the best business sense all the time, but I can't help it.
Well, no, but I think most people understand and respect that.
Yeah.
Right. It's when you have the opportunity, you have a marketing budget,
right,
and you may not have a direct correlation to return on investment.
Correct.
But I know you've told me before, probably here on the show as well, like for perception and goodwill.
Oh yeah, it helps me there. It does, but is it the best use of funds? No, but sometimes you lead with your heart and sometimes you lead with your brain, and this is a hard decision for sure.
The other thing that's really interesting, since you brought up like Jay building a baseball team or Kim building a basketball team, I think those two sports on LSU's campus in particular it's going to be fascinating to see how they are impacted by revenue share.
Yep.
Let me just leave it open at how do you think those two programs specifically are going to be impacted by revenue share?
Yeah, well, if you look at the House decision, they give some general guidelines, right? Football should get X percent, roughly 14, 15 million, and they break it down. And I think that's what most of the universities are doing. And unfortunately, Jay and Kim get penalized by that, right? It's the model. The court set it out. University are adopting it. Fortunately, both Jay and Kim are the type that are self-starters. They don't need to be told to go, right? They were already going. They're already doing. Jay's used to it. Kim's used to it. So they're working hard. But it is a little bit more of an uphill battle for them versus a South Carolina. We're out there. She has a built-in budget, right? They're giving her more money from the rev share, from what I understand, what I've been told. So there's a little bit of an uphill battle for them, but they can handle it. The
LSU women's basketball is getting 5% of the NIL budget. Baseball is getting considerably less.
Yeah.
The number I was told initially was going to be $200K. It's now $600K, but that's still $600,000 is not enough.
He needs $2 million plus.
Yes.
Yeah, easy.
I believe last year their roster, which is incredible that he won a national championship with that roster, but that roster was sub $2 million.
Correct.
And you had baseball programs in the SEC that were pushing it above $3 million.
Yeah.
So it speaks to certainly the job that coaching staff did at identifying talent, developing talent, making it all come together, which is why Jay's great.
Right.
But he doesn't, while his new contract, I'm sure he's grateful for it, and it's so well deserved.
Right.
For Jay, and I know we've had the conversation, it's like, man, just take care of the players.
Right.
Is the thing. He needs the players to win.
Yeah, that's and to his credit, when I approached him about signing him to a spokesperson deal, right? Not an NIL deal, but like I have with Kim. He's like, whatever you want to pay me, fine. Pay the players.
Yeah.
I was like, he's selfless like that. So he said, that's fine. Just pay the players. So we just signed him to a little minimal $5,000 deal and took all that money and put it on top of what we were already paying the players.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We did, partners with Terrio and with Parrish, the roofing company. Last week we did an NIL deal with two of Kim's players, with Michaela and Malaysia Fulwiley.
Yeah.
And Kim said the same thing.
Yep.
She was like, whatever you want, I'll be in a commercial and just give.
Kim does
the
the same thing. Yep. And they have to. That's smart.
It's just gonna be fascinating to see if other programs, as you sort of separate the haves and the have-nots, how this all starts to sort of, if it starts to normalize, and if you have programs like I know you mentioned teams can buy their way into relevance. SMU is a great example of that.
Exactly.
They bought their way into a conference.
That's right.
And then bought their way into the playoff, which God bless you.
Yeah.
You have the support, you can go do it. It'll be interesting to see how that happens in other sports as well. You mentioned some of the other, so Aaron Anderson, you mentioned Damian Ramos, the 3 Weeks brothers.
Yeah.
Who else?
Pickett and Halsey.
You've done deals with them, or
no,
you're going to?
It's close. Yeah, it should be happening.
Okay, so you've already been talking to those guys.
Yeah, wait.
What do you think is when you get deals done with those guys is the benefit for your business? I know you said you're leading with your heart.
Yeah.
But what do you think
sir, there have been people called me and said, hey, I'm hiring your law firm because you support LSU. And we've actually had several on the other side say, like, I'm going to pay you a little extra because this will go back to LSU a little bit. Yes. Don't tell the other side that.
No
but yeah, that has happened. So,
no way.
Yeah. So I do think you have that. But I do think that people recognize and want to support local. So there's Gordon supporting local. We're going to support Gordon, that type of thing. I feel it.
Yeah.
I don't like, I think I told you, I don't go on Tiger droppings because those guys go after me pretty good. Speaking of that, I was just on the phone with our new PA announcer, the infamous Dixon McMakin, and we were going. He said, "What are you hearing? What are you hearing?" And he said, "I'm not." He said, I can't read Tiger droppings." And I said, "Well, I quit reading it a long time ago." But Dixon over there, he left that esteemed financial firm of Altus Wealth over there with Brad Ewing and Clay Moffitt and Jesse Daigle, and I'm sure they're just crumbling. And since Dixon left, but I'm happy for Dixon trying to do what he's always wanted to do.
Yeah, man. It's you'll lead a happier life if you don't read what people say about you.
Yeah.
And I did say when he got the PA gig, it's gonna be different for everybody. Who's like for me, my whole life, it's always been Dan Bournet.
Yes.
You might remember Sid Crocker. I don't. But for a new generation of fans, it'll be Dixon, which is a really cool thing to think that you're there from the onset of it to witness that whole thing. You mentioned Court to Table as well.
Yeah.
Went over there, did the show a few weeks back. I've been a half dozen times already. I don't even play pickleball. Yeah. It's awesome. How's it going?
It's going great. It's much better than we thought. Open in the first part of July in the heat of the summer with the rainstorms. Like, how much money are we going to lose this month? And how much money are we going to lose before the students come back? And we were actually profitable both months. So like, all right, now we're getting going. We're coming into the fall season football. And it's a great place to gather before or after the game, especially with Contraflow. We're open at that time.
Great point.
Oh, yeah. So the last 2 times I was trying to get to Gino's 2 weeks ago, and I was just stuck. Called Gino and said, I can't make it. I'm just going to Court Table. Went in there and had a great time, played pickleball till after midnight. So come by before or after the game or anytime on the weekends. It's been a great thing. And, the Mocklers, who we did a little thing with, they've done great. And I look up with all your sponsors, and I see, Brandon with Relief Windows, and Mike Wampo owns the Renaissance, and there's Mockler. And I'm like, what am I doing in this group? It's like the dark sheep of the family, man.
No, look, we've got great partners, obviously, and you're in that number. But in all seriousness, Court to Table's awesome.
It is.
That's a place that I wondered when you'll open it, candidly, because when you've had businesses that haven't succeeded in a location, you wonder, is there something with the location, right? I'm sure you thought the same thing.
100%.
But the way that you all have built that, it's not just like college sports bar.
No.
The menu is such that you will want to go eat there.
Yep. Like,
it's whether you play pickleball, watch sports, like you will want to go eat the food. It's that good. And like the last time I went, I had a piece of salmon. It was amazing. And then there's people who do want to go play pickleball, but then there are TVs everywhere.
Right.
And we can bring the kids and they can go play pickleball and they can play shuffleboard and they can play cornhole and everything. And you don't have to worry about them because they're in a confined area and the adults, mom can have a glass of wine. And it's like y'all nailed it. I mean, it's the concept. The concept is awesome. And y'all clearly spared no expense on the build out. That's very obvious.
Yeah, we got going a little bit on what we spent. It was a little more than I was expecting. But my partner Ozzy Fernandez, who's a genius in the kitchen and with the food and beverage menu, he continues to amaze me with what he does. And speaking of the kids, you walk in there and they were just family groups with kids, and they're playing ping pong and they're playing Connect Four. It was something when I saw it 4 years ago in Austin. And that was another leaning in with my heart instead of my head.
Mm-hmm.
In hindsight, I'm like, I don't know if I'd have done this. It was much bigger scope. We employed 230 people.
Wow.
Right? And, you're talking a $10 million plus project. And how are we ever going to get payback? I don't know. But it's been great for this community. People are enjoying it. It gives another place to go. We had LSU gymnastics in there this past weekend for recruiting. LSU baseball was there Thursday night for recruiting. And the coaches, the feedback we're getting is like, this is a new dimension for us. Dimension for us to be able to bring our players and our recruits and do team building and team bonding. So it is really fun. Cute story. We accidentally put on our court registration system, Jay Johnson baseball group.
Oh no! So it's public.
Public could see it.
Was it accidental, or did you do this to try to draw in a crowd?
So to your point, one of the managers, we made a mistake, and now all these people. I said, that's not a mistake.
Yeah, that's great.
We're going to do it every time. Did you know we're having Shaquille's birthday party? We're going to have that online. It's going to be Shaquille and the Joe Burrow Rehab Classic. We're going to put all this stuff.
The Rehab Classic. Why would you do that?
Because I like Joey B.
No, I know.
But,
Poor Joey B with his toe. All right, Gordon McKernan, we got to bounce. Appreciate you for coming in as always. Thank you for the time.
Always great.
GetGordon.com. And if you've not been, go to Court to Table. I'm telling you, bring your family. If you want to go to families, go for families. buddies, you want to go watch NFL, like Monday Night Football, go watch Monday Night Football tonight. Have a few beers, watch it on the giant screens, play pickleball. Just trust me, you'll if you just want dinner, you'll enjoy it. Trust me, go to Court the Table. Thank you again.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
It's our pleasure. All right, it's after further review. We'll knock on a quick break. It's AFR.
AFR.
GLO, glowresources.com, their complete employer solutions. You know, whenever I talk about Glow, I like to lead with the line that telling you what they are by first telling you what they aren't. At Glow Resources, they are not a temp staffing agency. They don't work for the employee. They work for the employer. So if you're a business owner, and really since COVID, so many businesses have struggled with the hiring market. It's just the world changed. And so it's been very hard for people to find reliable people and capable people and qualified people. If that's you, if you're the hiring manager, the HR manager, the operations manager, the business owner, whatever it is, and you're struggling to find the right people, Glow Resources can help. Skill Blue Collar, they have their professional placement division, so it doesn't matter any type of office job, from office assistants up to C-level management, Glow Resources can help. Home base is right here in Baton Rouge, but they serve businesses all over the country. It's glowresources.com. G-L-O, glowresources.com, complete employer solution.
Businesses like yours are the soul of our community. You deserve someone who'll deliver the internet services you deserve. That's why local businesses rely on Rev Business, 90 years of building connections. Visit us at letsrev.biz.
I'm Gabrielle McLeod on behalf of the Louisiana Propane Dealers. I have spent hundreds of hours preparing for scholarship competitions. That preparation paid off when I won the Fitness and Talent Awards along with the title of Miss Louisiana. The Louisiana Propane Dealers are also pretty talented and want you to be prepared for when the power goes out. Visit louisianapropane.com to find out about propane generators and other safety tips. Louisiana Propane, it truly is the fuel for our future.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar, but instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
Rolling along here, Monday edition of AFR. We appreciate Gordon for hanging out in studio with us. Busy dude. Always appreciate when we get a few minutes of his time. Talk NIL. Certainly well connected. Get some perspective on all things there. So we appreciate G for jumping aboard with us here. All right, we do this every Monday. Muse, Paulie, and I watch college football. We come back in here on a Monday, and we tell you 3 things we saw. We call it College Football Takeaways. Hit it, Muse.
Another week in the books. What did we learn about the landscape of college football?
Muse, get us started.
Gladly. What's Arch Manning's deal? What's really going on? Because, look, we saw this guy come in a year ago against State and UL Monroe and look awesome. He looked great a week ago when they played Arena Win in San Jose. He was bad, like bad on Saturday.
He got booed.
He got booed by the home fans, was missing wide open receivers by 3 or 4 yards. I don't think Arch Manning forgot how to play football. What I'm actually curious about is, did that wince a week ago actually mean something, and Steve Sarkisian just decided to be a jackass in the media about it? Like, Arch Manning is not, he can't be that bad. It can't. I can understand the road started at Ohio State. That was eyebrow raising, and now it definitely has my attention.
Is Georgia Tech a playoff contender? They hit a 55-yard field goal to win against Clemson as time expired. The Yellow Jackets moved to 7-1 in ranked conference games under head coach Brent Key. Georgia Tech has a favorable schedule remaining. They could easily be favored in 8 of their last 9 games. The only one they probably won't be favored against is Georgia, and they lost the last 2 meetings with them with a combined 10 points.
Ole Miss's defense stinks. They were 9-3 a year ago. They were on the verge of the playoff. They did win the game this weekend against Arkansas, scoring 41 points, or 41 points, excuse me. But Ole Miss's defense gave up 35 points. Taylon Green threw for 305. Taylon Green ran for 115. Arkansas ran for over 200. Ole Miss is not. They're 3-0. They're ranked 17th in the country. They are not in any way a contender for anything because their defense is hot garbage, and they've still got to play LSU, Georgia, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Florida, Mississippi State. We'll see, but Ole Miss is at least going to be a 3-loss team. They might be staring down the barrel of 8-4.
Speaking of 8-4, welcome to the conversation, Texas A&M. That was mighty impressive on Saturday night up in South Bend, Indiana. And I'll tell you, the thing I liked most was Marcel Reed throwing the football. It's one thing for that guy to go out there and run all over everyone, but 360 yards, some huge throws on that final drive, including the 4th and goal throw. I thought he was awesome. He wasn't as efficient as you'd like. He needs to get a little bit better there, but he's taking advantage of the weapons they got. Now, on the other side, their defense, it might all about be time for a conversation there. Expect better from Mike Elko. That's kind of the thing that's standing in their way right now. But Marcel Reed in that offense, they're for real.
Is Vanderbilt legit? They beat the 11th ranked South Carolina 31-7. Lenore Sellers was knocked out of the game, but hey, a win's a win. The Commodores dominated in every facet of the game. They are 3-0 for the first time since 2017. They have now won back-to-back Power 4 games by 24-plus points. The win snapped a 31-game road losing streak against top 25 teams and a 16-game losing streak in South Carolina.
Would you rather have Gunnar Stockton or Carson Beck? Who would you rather have?
I'm going to go Carson Beck still.
Paulie, who would you rather have?
I'll go Gunnar Stockton.
Yeah. Carson Beck stunk last year.
Yeah.
He stunk. He was a turnover machine. He was not good. Threw for a lot of yards, also threw a lot of interceptions. Maybe change of scenery is just what you need sometimes. But I'm still not sold on Gunnar Stockton. Maybe I should be. They went and put up 41 points on the road against Tennessee. Overtime win, impressive, all that sort of stuff. Maybe that should be the one illustration I need. I'm going to have to see him do it against better defense. But might be coming around on Gunnar Stockton. I told you Rex Beck stunk. I've been telling you that. And DJ Lagway. And they stink.
Tennessee absolutely gagged that game away on Saturday.
Yeah, they did.
Like,
but regardless of the outcome.
Brutal. I know.
Regardless of the outcome. Regardless of the outcome.
Look, I know a lot of people are going to look at this and be like, really, you're bringing that up? But I was impressed with Oklahoma. That was an easy flat spot for them, going on the road after a big win. On the road to Temple, by the way, in front of what, like 12,000 fans up in Philly, and Auburn next week. I mean, they just blew the doors off of Temple. Temple's a really heavy play, or popular play at 23.5, 42-3. Oklahoma, John Mateer, I like them a lot.
Coaching carousel has already begun. Two teams fired their head coach over the weekend, UCLA and Virginia Tech. The Bruins lost to a Mountain West team in New Mexico. That was the end for Deshaun Foster. He ends his tenure with a 5-10 record for the Bruins. Virginia Tech fired coach Brent Pry on Sunday after an 0-3 start. They lost to Old Dominion. They reached a bowl game in 2023. They were okay in 2024, but the 0-3 start was all they needed for this one. He finishes his head coaching career 16-24 for Virginia Tech.
132-17.
Okay. 132-17.
It's the combined score of Penn State's first 3 games.
Okay, I thought you were going to go Indiana. I thought it was Indiana, but it's Penn State.
Well, you knew it was a Big Ten team because they just load up their 3 first weeks with patsies because then they're going to play 9 straight league games.
What was it? Well, give it to me.
132-17. Nevada, FIU, and Villanova. They beat Villanova 52-6. Now they get a bye. And then they're home against Oregon. And then they play UCLA, Northwestern, Iowa. Then they play Ohio State, Indiana. And then Michigan State, Nebraska, Rutgers. So we'll see about Penn State. Not next week, but when they host Oregon in 2 weeks, we'll see about Penn State. All right, there's our college football takeaways. We're brought to you by Our Lady of the Lake, championship health partner of LSU Athletics. OLOLRMC.com/LSU. OLOLRMC.com/LSU to learn more about that championship health partnership between Our Lady of the Lake and LSU. But we focus so much, obviously, on Our Lady of the Lake, their partnership with LSU, but really, it's the entire Franciscan Missionaries of Our Lady Health system, a multi-state health system with standalone hospitals and clinics serving all different types of needs. As a matter of fact, this morning, Erica and I took Drew to the Our Lady of the Lake Children's Hospital, where he had his neurology appointment with Dr. Shaw, where we see him every 6 months. An incredible resource in our community with the standalone children's hospital. Our Lady of Lourdes in Lafayette. As a matter of fact, the football stadium there for the Cajuns was just named this year after they bought the naming rights for Our Lady of Lourdes. The Franciscan Missionaries of Our Lady Health System this year is investing $250 million, $250 million in facility upgrades across the entire health system. They're expanding health care for all of Louisiana. It's Our Lady of the Lake and LSU. Together, we roar. Okay, it's after further review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. Our Monday shows are brought to you by Relief Windows. Windows door siding. They do shutters as well. Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com. We got Jimmy coming for Otter Locks. If you want Otter Locks, they're up already at LouisianaSports.net. I will tell you candidly, if you checked Otter Locks on Sunday for Football Sunday, there were a couple of plays, look-ahead plays for Monday Night Football. So those bets are already there if you want them. And there's a few MLB plays as well. There's 1, 2, because you got an NFL doubleheader tonight for Monday Night Football. So you got 2 NFL plays and an MLB play up at LouisianaSports.net. You can get them there, or you'll hear it from Jimmy when we come back to wrap up a busy Monday edition of AFR next.
AFR.
Man, I have been pumping this feature for the last week, and the response has been incredible. So I guess I'll just keep doing it. I told you Darren James has relaunched Agent 225, most user-friendly website in real estate. But they have an awesome new function that allows you to see your home's value immediately. As fast as you can type in your home address, you can see it. And you might say, oh, well, I did Zestimate or whatever. Well, does Zillow know if you put a pool in? Does Zillow know if you live on a golf course? Does Zillow know if you redid your flooring and put in wood floors? Does Zillow know what's going on in your neighborhood if a new restaurant was built right? No. When you go to Agent 225, it factors in so many local features that are going to give you a more accurate representative of what your home is worth. It's easy. Just go to agent225.com, hit home value, type in your address, 30 seconds, you'll have it.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and First American Bank and Trust bring you the Heart of the Game Award, recognizing student athletes who deliver when it counts. Nominate your game day standout at 1045ESPN.com by the 21st. We'll choose 5 male and 5 female finalists, and then it's up to the fans to vote for the winners. Each winner gets a $250 gift card, a custom award, and the spotlight they've earned. Presented by First American Bank and Trust, a banking tradition since 1910.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here. We eat out here. We watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Ochsner Andrews.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
Down the stretch we come. Final segment here on a Monday edition of AFR, presented by Relief Windows. It's windows, door siding. They do shutters as well. Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com. All right, let's find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks.
All right, time to win some money.
Presented by Total Maintenance AC Repair. Same-day service means you will never sleep hot. 480-1000. We are Total Maintenance.
I think it's safe to say that I won the bet.
Another great day on Football Sunday. We hope to keep it rolling with a couple of games here. Doubleheader on Monday Night Football. Otter, how are you?
Doing good, Matt. How about you?
Doing really well. Love winning weekends and cashing tickets, and we get to do that plenty. So great job by the handicappers there on Football Sunday and hoping for a big night tonight, man. So what are we looking at?
Yeah, so I've got one of my picks that I gave out yesterday as we did the show from Caesars in New Orleans. And it's the Houston Texans, -2.5. Fumbled the ball inside the 20-yard line with a minute to go in their loss at the Rams last week. And last week in week 1 of the NFL, of the 16 games, Matt Stafford had the highest quarterback rating out of anybody as far as the Pro Football Focus. And so the thing, because he didn't throw for a ton of yards, but that just tells me that, man, they're right there against a good team, against a quarterback who played well. And also just a little bit of Tampa Bay was fortunate last week. A couple of turnover-worthy passes didn't turn into just incompletions for Baker Mayfield. I like the Texans. Their home opener tonight, -2.5. DraftKings has the best number at 2.5. I would get on it now because, well, it's getting ready to go, but also they're starting to see some threes pop around as well. As far as the late one is concerned, this is not one I put out on yesterday, but the Chargers look so good in Brazil, but something about the Chargers, they just kind of can't put teams away. So I think 3.5 is just a little too many. No matter how good Herbert looks, how good the Chargers play, I mean, still the Chiefs had a chance to win the game at the end. So I'm going with the home dog in the late one tonight, plus the 3.5 with the Raiders. And then, Matt, one late game in Major League Baseball, Phillies at the Dodgers. Big pitching advantage for the Phillies tonight, basically even money. So we'll take the Phillies in that one.
By the way, also, for whatever it's worth, Andy Isco on Football Sunday did give the over in Chargers-Raiders, over 46. Now, that's up at Louisiana Sports Sunday if you want to get all the Football Sunday plays. So if for anyone who's interested, if you want to play it, Andy, who's generally really good, gave that one out yesterday on Football Sunday. Where are you tomorrow, Otter?
We're at Dozy Place on Government Street in Mid-City.
Awesome, man. We appreciate it as always. Good luck.
All right, good luck.
Thanks, Otter. It's After Further Review. We're brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEye.com. I was watching Alondra's tailgate video from the weekend. Thought I saw a gentleman who looked a lot like Dr. Blake Williamson on that video that she did, the Man on the Street video out tailgating out at Tiger Stadium. Anyway, listen, great Tiger fan, of course. Dr. Blake's father, Charles Williamson, was an all-SEC player under Coach McKernan back in the 1970s and might have been the 60s. Actually, I don't want to date him too badly, but sorry about that, Mr. Charles. My apologies if I got that wrong. But anyway, point is, great local business, great family, great people, and they do exceptional work. Dr. Blake Williamson at the Williamson Eye Center. It's eye care, eye wear, eye surgery. You do your annual eye exam. You need to get the contactor glasses prescription filled. They can do that for you as well. And if you want that refractive procedure to ditch contacts and glasses forever, they have a refractive procedure option for whatever your age or refractive issue is. It's the Williamson Eye Center. 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEye.com. All right, y'all, what a jam-packed show. Thanks to Peter Burns. Thanks to Gordon McKernan for joining us here on the show today. We talked plenty about LSU's win over Florida. The Saints lost to the 49ers. Garrett Nussmeier's injured torso or whatever it may be at this point. If you miss anything, AFR On Demand presented by Breck Golf. Just search YouTube or podcast AFR LSU or AFR Saints for your LSU or Saints content. It's just that easy. All right, it's going to do it for us. We're getting out of here. Muse, Paulie, thanks. Y'all have an awesome night. We'll be back here in studio for a Tuesday edition of AFR in 21 hours. See you.
After Further Review.
As we get on down the road, remind you about Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com, where Rouse's is helping you cover the spread all season long. Of course, talking about your tailgate spread. The Tigers are back at home this week. The Saints hit the road, but nevertheless, if you're watching on TV, game watch party, tailgate, home gate, whatever it may be, Rouse's has got you covered. And how about this? I didn't realize this, but Rouse's Facebook just told me that Rouse's September is Bourbon Heritage Month. So they got some amazing deals right now on a lot of different bourbons over at Rouse's. Actually, an incredible selection. How about that Maker's Mark 46 for $33.99? Get on by and check them out at any of the Rouse's locations, with 70 locations from Lake Charles to Orange Beach and points in between. You'll find a great selection of all your bourbon, your beer, your wine, and everything you need to make your tailgate awesome. Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com. Rouse's, this feels like home.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit louisianapropane.com.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. This, it's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
River Parish Contractors has immediate openings for structural steel shop fabricators. Call or text Big Jake today at 318-547-1000 or go to rpcontractors.com and click on employment. River Parish Contractors. Let's get building.
Tiger Country is 100.7 The Tiger. In the car on 100.7 FM or on the 100.7 The Tiger app. 90s country and beyond. 100.7 The Tiger.